problems.
One can only hope.
One can hope.
Right back to school.
Alright, let me get to it real quick.
Oh, we're on again.
There we go. Place that. Save.
The almighty egg school. I mean, you're giving some of them PTSD.
Oh, I need to change the title a bit. 1 second. Now, why'd you freeze up on me, you two? Why'd you do that? Here we go. Back.
It's what it does. Lore drop? Not quite.
There we go. Fix that. Fix that. An easy fix, but one that I needed to make. Save monetization.
Hello, hello, hello. Oh,
Filched.
Yeah, but they're starting to roll in.
Good, good. Well, we're getting ready to start. Give me just a second more. Change the title. Make sure. Oh, I got 2 notifications. What's this about? There's one here. I might do that. That would require a lot more research.
What?
I was asked in the Discord if I could do a video on the Cumans, the barbaric group that attacked Hungary. I don't know nearly as much about them. I would need to do a lot of research, and I'm currently in the middle of a different research project on the Inquisitions. So that we'll see. I might eventually do that. But I've got a lot of other stuff to do right now. Okay, so welcome, one and all, to yet another For Honor Friday. And we're going to go ahead and get started. No messing around. No wasting time. We're going to get right into it because I want to get this started, folks. So yeah, welcome. One and all. How many people we got right now?
We got 20 right now.
Wow, 20 already? That's impressive. That is very impressive. That's not good, though. It's already giving me the long processing screen. That's not a good sign. Were you having any trouble with the latency? Or
not on my end.
No, okay. Well, maybe it's just For Honor being For Honor, then.
Hey, Raven, how much history do you know about the Slavs?
Not nearly as much as I'd like to.
Depends on the Slavic group. I know a little bit more about the Poles than some of the others.
I know some about the Poles.
The Russians.
The Russians, definitely a lot about the Russians. Ooh, I learned
about some Serbians here and there.
Mm-hmm. I don't know as much about the Serbians, I'll be honest. All right, let's get things started with... I don't play Griffin that much. Let's do Griffin. Also, never trust the Poles. I trust them over some people up there.
Never trust the Poles. I mean, I think it's the reverse. Poles should never trust anyone, particularly their neighbors. It's like, hey, Austria, we bailed you out of that big time, that thing, in 1683. You're going to help us out, right? Right? Them teaming up with Prussia and Russia. It's free real estate, boys.
Well, you know that as soon as Russia started invading Ukraine, the first thing the Poles did is, someone hold us back, someone hold us back. I dare you, Russia. I dare you. Come over here. Come over that way. When Russia accidentally bombed an area in Poland, it took NATO to go, Poland, no, it was an accident, because the Poles were going,
They've been awaiting. Raven, was there a Christian Inquisition? There were several.
The Papal Inquisitions, and here, I'm going to do a whole video on the Inquisitions. Not just the Spanish, but all the Inquisitions. I'm going to talk about how they started, what they were basically about, why the Spanish Inquisition is so unique, and why it's demonized today. Because there's so much about the Inquisitions that so many people don't understand, and it has been demonized for years. And here's the thing, you gotta understand, the Spanish Inquisition, did the Inquisitors do messed up shit? Yes, they most certainly did. But all of it in the proper context. You've got to understand what was going on at the time, why it was so unique, and why it's demonized today. So you got to understand, like, for example, one thing to keep in mind about the Inquisition, it was not, the Inquisitions as an ideal was not created to kill people. It was the exact opposite. See, in the medieval period, heresy was seen as a capital offense because kings and queens and lords were believed ordained by God because the Pope oversaw their ascension to the throne. Therefore, if a heresy against God showed up in the kingdom, then it was seen as an affront to that right to rule. It was a capital offense. So when someone shows up and says, my neighbor's guilty of heresy, okay, well, how do you prove that? In order to prove it, you need to understand what heresy is, and that means understanding what, oh crap. And that means understanding, oh shoot, I fell for that one. But that means also understanding, what spirituality is, like spiritualism is. You need to understand the Bible and the scriptures in order to understand heresy. And a lot of people, lots of kings and queens and folks like that, did not really understand it that well. They did not have a large comprehension of the scriptures to be able to tell what is and what is not a heresy. So that worked against them. So what happened was the Pope came forward and said, all right, to make sure that there are not needless executions, we're going to establish a papal bull, which is the idea that if you have a papal bull in your kingdom, you have the right to appoint inquisitors by order of the Pope. So the Pope created the Inquisitions with the purpose of preventing executions. The Inquisitors' job was they were basically Dominicans and friars who were very well versed in the scripture, very well versed in church matters, and they could go to any of these trials and look over it and say, all right, let's find out if you're a heretic. And they could basically ask questions, find out what was going on. Were they a heretic? Were they not? Most of the time they found out, no, this person's not a heretic. This is not what a heresy is. If they found out, okay, you are a heretic, then usually their goal was, all right, you need to repent now. Because their goal was to convert. Their goal was not to kill. This is important. The Inquisitions did not have the right to give executions. That was the right of the secular court. The secular court had that right, not the Inquisitive. Not the Inquisition. The Inquisition would basically say, you need to repent, my son. You need to turn back to the Lord. And to that, the folks would say, well, yes, we'd love to repent. Or they would say, no, I like my heresy. If they say that they're not going to repent, then the Inquisition's job at that point is to say, well, all right, then if you say so. All right, well, in that case, you're excommunicated, and we're going to turn you over to the secular court, and they can decide what to do with you after that. And then it would be the secular court, the lord or lady, who would say, all right, time to execute you. And then they would give the executions. But according to information that we have taken out of the Vatican, most, and by most I mean only about a tenth, of all Inquisition trials resulted in an execution. Incredible, right? You don't hear about this stuff. And why don't you hear about it? Because and there's a reason for it. The Spanish Inquisition muddied the water for a lot of people. Now, some people will say, no, wait a second. What about the Spanish Inquisition? Didn't they execute a lot of people then? Actually, what happened is after the Reconquista, when Spain took back Christian control when the Spanish king and queen, Isabella and Ferdinand, I think it was, Ferdinand II, they took back control of Spain, and the first thing they did was they said, we need to re-solidify Christian control. So what they told the Muslims, or Muslimin as they called them, you either need to convert or leave. Because in the past, anytime we tried to just be nice and live and let live, you turned against us and caused a lot of trouble for us. So we're not letting you get away with that. Hold on. Hold on, got to deal with this first.
Always have to deal with those pesky magi. Oh, by the way,
oh, what killed me? What killed me? What killed me? Oh, you threw your freaking javelin at me. I love it. Okay, anyway, back to what I was saying. So, what happened was Isabella and Ferdinand wanted to make sure that the Muslims would not become a problem anymore, and they wanted to make sure that if they converted, they really converted. They weren't just pulling their leg or anything like that. So they demanded that the Pope give them the right to found inquisitions in their territory. And the Pope said, no, I'm not going to give you that. And they said, okay, well, if you're not going to give us the right to found our own inquisitions, then we're going to pull away troops from your fights against the Turks. And the Pope didn't want that. He needed all the help he could get. So he said, all right. So he said, fine, I'll give you permission to found your own inquisition, but please keep your troops here. So they agreed. Thank you. The problem is their Inquisition was state-run, not church-run, and as a result, well, the Inquisition was given a lot more freedom to do what they wanted, but the Pope was very much against it. He spent a lot of time to turn these things around, trying to say, no, No, this isn't how we're gonna do things. Like, stop it. Stop doing these things. Anyway, sorry, I went off on a whole thing there.
Yeah, and it's like, I was going to say, like, don't spoil the entirety of your next video, dude.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's like, no, good stuff, though. But a lot of people are asking, how do you feel about Lionel Johnson coming back?
I'm excited, but I'm hesitant to say anything. I'm excited for his return, but I'm hesitant to say anything about it.
Yes, I wonder.
I don't want to get any lore wrong.
No. I'm worried that how Lionel Johnson feels about coming back and joining the bad guy faction.
Yeah, that's my concern too. I'd hate for him to have to. I think Lionel Johnson should come down and join the Eldar.
No, he should join the Tyranids, the true good guys.
Yeah, they're the true good guys of 40K, obviously. I mean, after all, the Imperium of Man, they're just the bad guys forever and ever.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for them, the galaxy would be at peace. Didn't you know that? Humanity,
absolutely.
Humanity objectively bad guys.
Because no one else in the 40K galaxy has ever done anything wrong. See, so what are your thoughts on Inquisitor Yin Shin's lore?
Yin Shin's lore, I both like it, but I have some problems. Hold on. There we go. I wanted to get that hidden. Heal up. My issue is, my issue with Yin Shin's lore is that she's a little too perfect. She's a bit of a Mary Sue. Like, she's all about, oh, we need to I want to protect the peace. I want to protect the peace. I want to protect the innocent. How could people be so barbaric and kill and loot? I'm kind of like, you are a pirate. Like, you do know that you were a pirate. Oh, wow, okay.
Hey, Raven, what's the difference between the Japanophiles and Weebs?
Real? Hold on!
Give him a second.
Finally killed me, did you? Took some work on your part. I love that. Busted his 3rd and 4th feet on me, and I still brought him to the ropes. Man, that must have been cringe. Sorry about that. What was that?
They were saying, what's the difference between a Japanophile and a Weeb?
I think I talked about this in another stream, but a Japanophile and a Weeb are pretty much the same thing. A Japanophile and a Weeb both basically believe that Japan is the Holy Land and it's the best place ever and that there's no country better than Japan. Like, America's a joke in comparison. Japan never did anything wrong ever in the history of the world. It's just perfect by all accounts, you know? And the only difference is that a Weeb believes all this just because of anime. A Japanophile believes it because of anime, but also everything else. Really?
Let's see. Hey, Raven, before the Spanish Inquisition, when did Christians and Muslims try to coexist peacefully? They didn't.
They didn't.
Like, the only time they would say coexist peacefully is when one had dominion over the other. The only time you could argue they coexisted peacefully anywhere in the world is when you had another power that reigned over. Like, when the Mongols controlled Muslim and Christian lands, they basically said, hey, no fighting, you two.
Yeah, essentially. The thing was, before the Spanish Inquisition, you gotta understand the mentality of medieval Muslims. I'm not talking about Muslims today. Keep that in mind. I'm not talking about Muslims as a general rule. I'm talking about medieval Muslims. The medieval Muslim ideal at the time was, if you are not Muslim, you are lower than a dog. You are less than an animal. Therefore, you either need to convert so that you can actually be human, or you need to live beneath us as you deserve to.
You have to you have to
pay the jizya and live as a dhimmi. And that meant that and now some people have argued that, living as a dhimmi, okay, all you had to do was pay a tax. That's not so bad, right? Except for the fact that dhimmis have no rights. Like, for example, as a dhimmi, that means a non-Muslim living among Muslims, if you were a Jew or a Christian and didn't convert. Yes, you had to pay a tax, and technically the Muslims couldn't bother you, but if a Muslim decides to walk up to you and slap you across the face, you can't say anything against him. You have no right to testify against him in court. You can't bring up charges against him. But if you slap him back, he can have you thrown in jail for that. See, that's, you want to talk about oppression, you want to talk about mistreatment. It was awful, and I have the sources to prove it. I've got books and articles on the nature of dhimmis at the time period. Now, what if the roles were reversed? What if you had a Christian nation where the Muslims were living in it? Now, interestingly enough, during the Reconquista, and we're talking the Reconquista, so in Spain, we could talk about the Middle East too, but we'll leave that alone for now. In Spain, a lot of Christian leaders tried very hard to be magnanimous. They tried to say, look, you can be a Muslim in our territory, but you have to obey the Christian laws of the land. And most Muslims were okay with that, at least until they got word that a Muslim leader was coming to expel the Christians. Then they got wild up and like, ha, we're coming back, baby. That was very much the mentality that they had. Because the way that they thought, if you look at Quran 3:23, I think is the verse, the idea is Muslims are forbidden to make friends with non-Muslims unless they are in a position of lower stature. Mm-hmm. Basically, if they have power over you, you have to pretend to be a friend or get out of there.
Yep. They were even alarmed. Did the Jews ever have their own military?
Yes, during the days of, during the biblical time.
Yeah, during the Kingdom of Judah, and also there were some Jewish nomads around the Caucasus Mountains for a while in the medieval period.
But they didn't have any during the age of, like, the Crusades, if that's what you're thinking.
No. I mean, they have one now, technically, with Israel. So.
Technically, in this country of Israel, yes, they have their own Israeli forces, but we're talking like after the army of Judah, not really. Mm-hmm. Anyway, great talk.
Yep. Raven, what is your opinion on Joshua Graham from Fallout New Vegas?
He's easily the best character in the game.
I think he might be the best character in the franchise.
Yeah, probably. Like, I love him. I love Joshua Graham. Like, I could just listen to him, and you could listen to him read the Bible, and it'd be awesome.
Literally, there are people that take it, that did the 11 AI thing, and like they have him reading books of the Bible, another thing, and I'm just like, it works. It's like his voice is actually one of the few that actually works relatively well, auto-generated, because you can still tell, but it's a little harder than some. And I think it's just like the way Joshua Graham, like when he's playing Joshua Graham, how that tone comes off.
Yeah, very, very much so.
Oh, by the way, LeBoge wanted to let you know that he recommended your Vlad the Impaler video to his French teacher.
Oh, cool. I hope she likes it, or he likes it, whatever gender.
Yep.
Hey, Raven, how would alien life react to the gospel? Well, that depends on a lot of factors. Are aliens also offered the redemption of Jesus? Are they aware of God? Do they have their own faith? Like,
do they have souls? Are they sentient? Because if we come down to find alien life and it's just like bugs, I don't think that qualifies. But I don't know. What happens if we show up and they suddenly say, "Oh yeah, we already know. We have our own copy."
Good parry.
Inquisitor Yenshin, we should fight for the people. We cannot loot, steal, and kill the innocent like barbarians. Astra, you are a pirate.
Literally.
$100 says the aliens have their own religion. Probably. If they exist. So Diablo 4 beta, haven't touched it.
No real desire to, if I'm being honest.
Oh, I've never played any of the other Diablo games, and I feel like it's kind of late to get in.
Exactly. I'm kind of the same way. I've never played it. I don't really care to.
So your Kensei video is easily my favorite Legend video. Might need to rewatch the series just to make sure. Hey, we won't stop you.
Hey, if you liked it, that's awesome. And I'm not going back up to A. That Lawbringer's kind kind of good. He's a rep 7?
He's a little intense and tumultuous.
I'm going to go help out and see. War Mommy Legends win? I don't know. Man, why do they always quit when things don't go their way? They always quit when they don't have a good fight.
Because they got super pain. I only played 3 and I loved it. I mean, I heard Diablo was good. I just never got it. I just never got into it. Arian Lark, what is your favorite type of cake?
Chocolate.
I like it just in unison. Chocolate. Oh, crap. And for the person that asked earlier whether I prefer muffins or cupcakes,
Crap.
Depends on the type of muffin and cupcake, but typically, cupcake. Raven and Lark, who would say started the crusade? The Turks, but by annexing the Byzantine lands, but only after the Byzantines rallied the armies and attacked them after they felt their lands were at risk. I would argue, yeah, you could blame the Turks.
I would blame the Turks. Yeah, the Crusade. That's the thing. People don't like to talk about that part. The Crusades were largely started by the Turkish acts of aggression, and man, we're not going to win this. Just saying.
Yep. Yeah. Typically, when I hear people like crap talk the Crusades, I ask them, well, what do you think about Manzikert? They typically go, what? Diablo had this problem where you stopped progressing halfway through the campaign, and it sucked.
Crap. Oh my gosh, we haven't gotten a single kill.
Goodness gracious.
Wow, this is not going to go our way. This is really not going to go our way. And I think a large part of it is because that Lawbringer up there is a one-man army, and these three are just ganking in C.
Raven and Lark, what was the scariest moments in your lives?
That's a good question. I need to think about that. Oh, so now they're all here.
You know, I feel like if you yourself are ganking, that corruption should not work. The elbow-looking incident. I'm surprised they remember that.
Crap.
At least you finally dropped one of them.
Yeah, we dropped two of them, actually. Oh my gosh. This fight has turned into a mess.
Hot mess. Chocolate mess.
Come on, man. Pick me up. Pick me up. Pick me up. I'll help. I'll help.
Cooking with Ball says, I've started Death Diary, and dang, never knew you could be so dark. Also hit me, to be honest.
Oh, when I write death, I try to just be,
He gets in immediately.
I try to get deep.
Is that why you wear snorkeling equipment?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Let's turn to be around.
You spin me right round, baby, right. Oh, sorry. Let's see, scariest moment.
The kissing my elbow moment was pretty scary, not gonna lie. That did scare me. Oh, crap.
There have been a few times where I've almost been in like life-threatening car accidents that I was like, holy crap, holy crap, holy crap, holy crap. Yeah, you're alright. That zone attack is kind of like a Beyblade. Beyblade, let her rip! Have you played Bloodborne? A bit.
Crap. Yeah, just threw down that 4th feet. The sign of someone who is very, very scared.
Manzikert.
Manzikert.
It was
Manzikert.
It was the battle that basically let the Turks take most of Anatolia away from the Byzantines. I've been playing since Diablo 2. Love Druid, Paladin, Necromancers. It's a great game if you're into isometric ARPGs. And even 3 is pretty good. There are some problems I see as a Christian. Understandable. Very seldom do I see media get Christianity or Christian themes accurate. This man should not have a rework right now. Not the Lawbringers in general, just this one. This one in particular.
Crap. So he light parried me. Damn.
Yep.
This guy is really damn good for a rep 7. Let me check. Oh, he's also got a blank. He's also got a blank emblem. I don't want to say Smurf, but I would not be surprised.
He's a dedicated Smurf if he's gotten it up to rep 7.
Well, usually when I see blank emblems, that's my first thought. Because they don't bother like trying to personalize; they just jump in like they're new.
Or they make something edgy.
Well, that's not edge; it's just a black emblem.
Hey, Raven and Lark, have you guys seen a film called Disney's American Legends 2001?
Nope, I have not.
Oh,
okay.
My recollection.
Look, I get it. Y'all are scared to fight one-on-one. I totally recognize that. And I'm not going to judge you for it. But this is infuriating.
Could be a console switching to PC or other way around. Possibly.
Gotcha, bitch. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to take that arm off. Yeah, not so good when you're by yourself, are you? Fine. I can do that shit too.
Now, where
you're not so good when you're by yourself, are you, honey? When you're by yourself, when you don't have a friend to hide behind, who are you then? Who are you then? Food for the lion.
Interesting. I think her name's Ayala. Oh, it's like the animated stories of like Paul Bunyan and like...
Yeah, I've seen those. Those are pretty awesome. We won't win, but I will give them my best.
You have my axe. We meet again. Andy, don't interrupt. Honestly, waging war against good people is bad for the soul. This may not be important to you now, but it's the most important thing I've said. It's probably Joshua's best line. Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah, that Valkyrie's thankful that she had Tiandi to come save her.
The Chinese bailing out the Scandinavians. You never thought you'd see.
Never thought that would happen.
Hey, Raven, have you ever played Darkest Dungeon? He is not. I have.
I have not played it. Lark has.
I have it. I haven't gotten very far, but I like it. I really do like it. Though I think the amount, like, even on just regular difficulty, the amount of the amount of afflictions they come down with is absolutely absurd.
Managed to turn that one around, didn't we, Shaolin?
What other Primarchs could make a comeback? Lehman and Jagatai are the most likely to. Vulcan, maybe. It looks.
Right, I don't want any to come back. That humanity is the evil faction. We shouldn't want any of them to come back.
Of course.
Why would we want any Primarchs to return? The Imperium Man is the most evil faction in all of Warhammer 40k. They shouldn't come back. Let it burn.
I like the Templars. I like the Templars being able to pull out a piece of paper and then zap frying what's in front of them. That amuses me.
That is kind of interesting.
No torch run in Darkest Dungeon. Oh, good lord. Suicidal right there. Ooh, I'll be right back.
What's wrong? Okay, well, I'll be here. Did Raven turn chaos? No, I did not. I did not turn chaos, I can assure you. But after a very enlightening conversation last night, I have learned the error of my ways. I used to think that the Imperium of Man was a very fascinating and interesting group within the overall world of 40k, but I have learned that that is not the case. See what happened was last night. I'll tell you guys the story. Lark, you think I can tell him?
You want to?
Yeah. Okay. So here's what happened last night. I was in a conversation. Someone on the Discord was talking about how the Imperium of Man was evil and worse than the Eldar and all that. And I was kind of pointing out that I think that the Eldar have some crap to deal with too. That was something that I felt like. And then he argued that oh crap, no, jerk. Okay, all right. But anyway, as I was saying. So he argued that this Imperium of Man is so bad and so evil that the Sith Empire from Star Wars is a better alternative. And I said, whoa, okay, I don't agree with that at all. And I was trying to point out that I think that the Sith Empire is way worse than the Imperium of Man, morally and power-wise. And he just started telling me all the atrocities that the Imperium of Man did, and no matter what I said, it always came back to him basically saying, I can't remember everything word for word what he said, but what he essentially said was, Everything wrong that happened in the galaxy was the fault of the Imperium of Man. Before the Great Crusade happened, the Eldar were doing their own thing, the Orcs were kind of under heel, the Chaos didn't have a hold anywhere, the Nids hadn't shown up, the Tau hadn't shown up, the Necrons were still asleep. Everything was fine until the Imperium showed up. Everything was fine until the Emperor decided to make his attack. And I kept trying to explain, no, the whole point of the Dark of the Grim Dark is that everyone's bad, everyone has some problems. And besides, that's beside the point. The whole point that I'm making is when you look at it in context, the Imperium of Man, like all the factions, come from a place of desperation where there were once the pinnacle, the peak, the best, but then mistakes were made by the higher ups and the Emperor, and now humanity is in a place of desperation where they're forced to do horrible, restrictive, evil things to survive. But it works in context of where they are. It makes sense for who they are. And I kept trying to explain this. He wouldn't hear it. He kept saying that, and he finally said, you just need to look at the lore. He said, like, I respect you because you make good content, but if you're going to talk 40K, you need to actually look at the lore. And I went, oh, okay, well, I guess I just don't know enough. Apparently, the way it works is, I didn't know this, apparently the way it works is, the Imperium is the most evil faction. Like, it's not like all the other factions do horrible, atrocious things. From the way it sounds, everyone was living in peace until the Imperium showed up. I find that stupid. I find that totally contrarian to everything that Warhammer 40K is supposed to be. But, as he pointed out, I don't know enough about the lore, so clearly, Lark and I had this conversation, and we're like, okay, well, in that case, yeah, okay. The Imperium are the evil faction. We should not be fond of them. We should not praise the return of Lionel Johnson. We should be shaking in fear that he has returned, because now the poor Eldar are going to be oppressed. The poor Tau are going to be oppressed. The poor Orcs are going to be crumpled.
The poor Tyranids.
What? Think about the poor bug people, okay?
Won't anyone consider the bug people? They're just trying to get your Levi's, I think.
Maybe, but and then Chaos. What about, give Chaos its day.
Yeah. When has Chaos done something bad? Let's think
really, Chaos. When have they done anything wrong? Really. And the War of Heaven is just filthy. It's just filthy Imperium propaganda. Never happened.
Absolutely. Yeah, the Tau. No. Commander Farsight tries his best. Let's first of all, let's get that straight. But yeah, it's just kind of like anytime somebody comes like. For those of you that can't tell, we are being incredibly sarcastic.
Yeah, we are being unbelievably sarcastic.
And the thing is, I always find, because the thing is, I have seen several people come like, no, you can't like the Imperium. They're evil. They're monsters. They're Nazis. They're fascists. And I'm like, okay, but it was like, no, listen, Games Workshop themselves said they're bad guys. And I'm just going to go, then why do they keep marketing them and selling them as the good guys? It's like looking at like all the Imperial Guard trying to kill a bloodthirster before, it harvests their skulls. Look at those bad guys trying to stop that.
I think what bothers me more than anything is this is what scares people away from Warhammer. This is what scares them away from Warhammer. They don't know anything about it. It looks too big. They're worried to look into it for fear that they'll be overwhelmed. They decide to do some research. They see a lot of stuff like the Caiaphas Cain books or the Desolation of Baal, the stuff like that. They see all this stuff. And they go, wow, this is really cool. Look at humanity fighting these really big monsters and holding out against all costs. Man, that is crazy. I really like that. So then they go to the forums or something like that and say, guys, I really was just getting into this, and humanity seems really pushed down, don't they? And then immediately, how could you like humanity? They're all evil. Do you not understand what humanity has had to, what humanity has done to the wider galaxy? Do you not realize just how oppressed they've made everybody? Humanity's the worst, and if you like them, you are a fascist individual. And all I can say to that is, well, way to scare away any people who may be interested. I'm not saying that the Imperium is good by any means, but by basically ridiculing those who want to be interested, you make it hard for them to get invested. You insult them for liking a specific group. And then, of course, their argument is, well, what about what Games Workshop said? I think what Games Workshop said is absolutely ridiculous.
Yes, because Games Workshop is known and lauded for their great decision-making. Hey there, End Times, how are you doing?
Anyway.
Yep. It's like, Oleanus Pius, canonically the last Christian, sacrificing himself to save his old friend, the Emperor, is the worst thing ever. How dare you find that story of a man standing up to a demon inspiring?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I just love it. Reading my latest Caiaphas Cain book, look at him, standing against the forces of evil. I mean, not the forces of evil, the forces of Xenos, trying to desecrate and destroy this planet. How dare he stand in the way? How dare the Imperial Guard try and protect that Imperial world? They should just let the Tyranids nom on that hive world. Monarcha or Prospero? I'm gonna go with Monarchica. Problem with, like, the burning of Prospero, it's just like Magnus could have avoided all of that when Lehman Russ rolled up. He tried to call Magnus, and Magnus said, "No, I mustn't pick up. I must atone." And they're like, you could have atoned by, you know, picking up the phone and explaining what the heck was going on, so Lehman Russ wouldn't have desecrated your homeworld.
Well, again, and I'm not trying to turn this into a bigger thing than it actually is, but it's turned into this thing where my first Warhammer video was me responding to Games Workshop and their response to the Spain incident.
Because they just handled that terribly.
They handled it terribly. Instead of condemning what this person did at their event,
they attacked their own IP.
They were desecrating their own IP, and I'm like, why would you do that? Like, it makes no sense for you to do that. By making out the Imperium of Man to be the worst possible group in the entire 40K. You remember why people didn't like the Tau at first? Because they were too perfect. They were too good. The whole point of the whole point of the grim, dark Warhammer future is that everyone is bad, everyone is evil, everyone does something objectively wrong. That was the point. Everyone is somehow wrong. Everyone's a hero, everyone's a villain. You know, that was the idea. But now it's gotten to the point where it's like, well, there's no nuance now. You've made your clear bad guy, the Imperium.
But yeah, needs more work. The Spain incident was some guy went to a 40K tournament in Spain, and he dressed pretty much as a Nazi. He went under the name Austrian Painter, and I think he had like an Imperial Guard regiment dressed like painted as Nazis. And so people were like, I don't want to play with him, and he actually got very high in the tournament because no one wanted to play with him because he was being an edgy little shit. And Games Workshop heard about this, and, you know, doing the rational, logical thing, they called him out and said, hey, we don't support his actions. I'm just kidding, no, they didn't. They said, the Imperium of Man is evil. And I'm just like, no. Like, don't do that. Imagine, if you will, someone, I was like, if, for whatever reason, someone, like, you know, did something incredibly edgy or stupid, but they were wearing a Star Wars shirt while they were doing it, and then Disney just came out of nowhere and said, the Jedi are evil. That's the equivalent of what this was. Because they could have just said, hey, we don't support this guy, and he was acting a fool. For people that are running tournaments, don't tolerate morons like this. That's all they had to say. But no, they felt they needed to run down and preach to their own fan base, which was completely unnecessary. Arabian Saga latest video was fun to listen to.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Oh, is that the way it's going to be, Val?
Skulls for the Golden Throne, blood for the God Emperor. You know what? Why don't we own it? Own it. Let's be the evil guys they think we are. They already did, Lark. Remember The Last Jedi? Yes, I try not to. I think Lucasfilm tried that.
Lucasfilm did try that.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Raven and Lark, what movie or show got the most wrong about how heaven and hell works?
I can't even pick one. Many of them get it wrong.
Let's see.
A guy says humanity is evil, says the humans. Yep, that's the irony.
Yep.
He's said that like 3 or 4 times now, so.
It's funny, because I just love the thought process of these guys. They're seeing Dark Eldar coming down to a agri world of the Imperium, raping, pillaging, and plundering and kidnapping Imperial citizens for slave labor and, torture subjects. And they're going, sure is hard to tell which one's the bad guys. I think it's probably the guys getting enslaved. Just seems silly to me. But yeah, I think the show or medium that got Heaven and Hell the wrong would probably be Hell of a Boss, or what was the other show associated with it?
Has Been Hotel, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Jaguar beat me to it.
Remember, like, there is no Last Jedi in Ba Sing Se.
That's why we love Ba Sing Se here. That Judy, she's always keeps you in a happy attitude.
Absolutely.
Hades isn't even that bad for a dude, yeah. Oh, right, Lark Faker Darsh. No, just like, oh, yeah, the Templar Knight. Best aesthetic in the game. I also like the Musketeer. Musketeer's pretty baller.
But yeah, so that was where that came from. I'm not a heretic. I haven't turned to chaos. I just think that whole argument was ridiculous, and it's also made me come to the conclusion that I'm no longer going to make any content regarding Warhammer. I'm done with Crash Course Warhammer, stuff like that. There's just no point. If all I'm going to be done, if all that's going to happen is I'm going to be met with, you don't know the lore, you need to do your research. I'm just going to okay, then forget this. I'm not involving myself in it anymore.
Oh yeah, Leper is cool. But yeah, the thing is, just when it comes to Warhammer, you gotta learn to have fun with it. And the problem is, there is a whole lot of lore out there. So someone could read through like hours of lore and come to this like, I really like the Imperium. I think they do pretty good. They got some problems with things, and then someone's gonna shriek at them and go, "No, they're very bad. Didn't you read this?" And they're like, okay. Lore beards will be lore beards. Like, oh yeah, I like getting obsessed with the lore. I like lore. Heck, I even like Tau lore to a certain extent. To an extent. But it's just ridiculous. But I think the biggest hypocrisy, though, is they complain, is when they complain about how there's a lot of Imperium fanboys that go around and harass people, but then they go out and harass people just for daring to like the Imperium more than other factions. It's like you become the very thing you swore to destroy.
Right. Like he claimed it. You're right, Lork. He claimed in his comment, the reason I got mad is because I get tired of people who support the Imperium man hating on people who like other factions. And I'm like, is that not what you're doing in reverse? So it's one of those things. But yeah, someone in the chat said that it's really complicated and you're upset by my decision, but you understand it. I know there are going to be some people who are upset by it. But genuinely, it's not just because of this conversation that I thought about this. I was thinking about this after I did my video with Danny Fortuna. Danny revealed throughout conversation that he knew things about the lore that were well beyond anything I even thought about. And I realized just how outclassed I was in terms of knowledge of the Warhammer 40k lore. And so I'm just like, you know what? I'm out of my element. I'm going to release a video one day that's just going to be so out of touch, people are going to rip me a new one. And I'd rather just avoid that. I'd rather just avoid that inevitability. So that's part of it. So don't think it's just because, oh man, you're overreacting to one conversation. Nah, I've been thinking about that for a while. I've just been thinking about getting out of that for a while. So that's why. Uh-oh, we got two friends going up against us. Drip Lander and Drip Bringer. Okay.
Oh no. Well, yeah. they better have good drip. That's all I can say. Let's not forget the time the Dark Eldar turned a bunch of Tau ambassadors into monstrosities and then stole literally everything on the planet they were defending. Yep, but no. Dark Eldar, not still better than the Imperium. Still better.
Still better.
That's the main problem, connecting real-world politics into fictional settings. If you like the bad guys, whoever they might be, you must support the truly horrible people IRL. Arguments. Yeah, I love it too, because I remember in the Games Workshop thing, they were saying just like, this is a cautionary tale. It's like, so you're telling me, if we're not careful, we could be traveling through space hell, fighting, giant metal Egyptians? Is that what you're telling me? If we're not careful, is that the future that we wait? Oh, Enigma Orion just dropped $5 saying, "Hi Raven, I was just watching your Vlad video and I was wondering, when are you doing the next Crusade video?"
I haven't decided when I'm going to do my next Crusade video or if I will. I'm still debating that. Right now I'm working on an Inquisition video. I'm making a video about the Inquisition right now.
And what a show it will be.
Oh, that will be very fun. I am looking forward to that.
And Cume Socks just dropped $20 saying,
"Hey, thank you."
Yep. It reminds me of the extra credits video normalizing Nazis. Oh, God.
Oh, man. It's one of those things, man.
I mean...
Not even once. Oh, so the two Drip brothers are bringing Conquerors. And how's their drip? I have seen better.
It's not terrible, but, you didn't ask for it. You didn't choose it.
But there it is. God, that's such a cringe video. You didn't ask for it. People have asked me to respond to it, and I'm like, why? Everyone's ripped it apart by now.
Yeah, everyone has. I don't know. Maybe.
It's been an honor, Commander Raven. I'm not going anywhere. It's not like I'm done making videos entirely. I'm just not making any more Warhammer videos.
Now, me, on the other hand, I make no promises.
Well, Lark may make more. Like,
Yep.
what I mean is, I'm just not making any more Crash Course Warhammer. Like,
Yeah.
I made the Chaos Gods. I was starting to do research into the Lizard Men, but then everything went to crap. So,
Yep.
okay, so we're gonna have 2 ganking conquerors. All right.
Yep. Are you ever going to have a drip contest again? Maybe one day. Make a video on why the Black Templars are objectively correct.
Hey, how'd that gank work out for you, bro? How'd that work out? Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Hey, Raven and Lark, what is your favorite character in Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Zuko, probably.
Iroh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Iroh is objectively awesome.
Iroh's a G. Yep, Sharkana's my favorite. Iroh too. Everyone who watches Last Airbender has to like Iroh. It's law.
Victory for the righteous.
You're on your own, Inquisitor Lark. Eastern. Well, the thing is, he would still help me out. With
I'll help him.
But he's just not going to be like the one doing the flagship of those projects anymore. And the thing is, when I do those, I'm going to just be upfront and go like, I'm going to be more silly with it, probably not try and be quite as informative, and it'll be more, and I'll make it just clear that it's more opinion pieces than anything else. And if you think I'm some sort of fascist just because I unironically enjoy the Imperium of Man, then you don't understand what feudalism or theocracy is. Now, Kakazu Hispano just dropped $2 saying, yo, them celestial dragons were onto something. What the heck? Thanks.
What are you talking about? Finally killed me, did you? That's fine.
Man, Iroh needs to be made into a template of how to be a great god.
Very, very much.
Definitely
so.
for like he's probably one of the best mentor characters in like living memory.
I'm gonna go as I'm tired as fuck, and it's 1:20 in UK, so I need sleep.
Oh, dude,
See you
get some
later,
sleep,
man.
dude.
Get some sleep.
Hey, Lark, are you gonna do a Lamentations on the UNSC? Yeah, at some point.
Probably.
I don't know, because the thing is, I did the Covenant, and that one did not do the numbers I thought it would.
Yeah.
I think Arch made a video debunking Imperium being fascist, though. Yeah, he did. The problem is, though, everyone looks at Arch with the Arch's fan base loves most of what he does, but anyone who isn't Arch's fan base typically hate what he says just because they hate Arch. Sleep is not a pro gamer move. Well, we're not professionals here, so go ahead and get some shut eye, dude.
Crap. We've decided to team up as a group of 4 now.
Who is this Arch guy, and what did he do to be hated? He's just he's a controversy.
He's just prolific. He very much likes to spark controversy.
Yep. He's also very unapologetic on opinions too, which is not appreciated on the internet.
Right.
And also apparently his Discord server is wild.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and not in a good way. Like, honestly, I want to see For Honor 2, but minus the Pirate and Magi. After all, they should go to the Knight. They should go to the Knight, parry the Knight. It's like, hey, we decided to make For Honor 2, but we got rid of all the other factions. It's just the Knights. Just the Knights. Typo affair would be with the Knights. That'd be a great April Fool's joke, like all the heroes have been moved over into the Knights. It's like, we thought the Raider with the new chainmail look kind of was like a Knight, so we moved him into the Knight faction. The Warlord, that's pretty good defense. You know who else has good defense? The Knights. Warlord goes Knights. Like, the Kensei's got good style. You know who else had good style? The Knights. Kensei's now in the Knights. Warhammer and controversy / arguments like a toaster in a bathtub. Yeah, it can be. Yeah, Dragon Spirit, I think you're right there. I really like the Covenant video. The more I looked into Halo, the more Christian symbolism I saw. The flood, the Ark, the Covenant. Yeah, totally. There's a whole heck of a lot of Christian symbolism in Halo. I mean, heck, the whole name, Halo.
Crap. Thought I could take them both. I could not.
Hey, Raven, what's your opinion on Kratos' origin story?
He was it's basically gladiator only in Greece instead of Rome.
We'll add a little bit of Hercules in there,
Yeah.
and there you go.
Yeah, basically, the gods killed my wife and child. Now I will become a god to get my revenge.
Yep.
That's basically gladiator. Only the difference is gladiator did it to oppose the new Roman emperor, and he became a gladiator to do just that. So.
And this guy killed Ares for tricking him into killing his wife and daughter, and then because he's like, hey, you're Ares' son. Psych, turns out you're Zeus's kid. Because everyone in ancient Greece has Zeus as a dad. Hey, Raven and Lark, what was the worst extra credits stop normalizing or extra credits evil races? Oh gosh, it's a tough one.
Not entirely sure.
Because both are dumb arguments. Dale Expert just dropped $50 saying to the both of you, hey, thanks, dude. A few weeks back, I asked y'all how I can deal with butterflies in your stomach when uploading videos. Since then, I've been uploading a lot more and doing numbers that my small channel shouldn't be getting. So thanks to you both. Hey, man.
No problem, man. Glad you're doing well.
Yeah, keep up the good work, dude. Just keep at it. One of the reasons that Raven actually does as well as he does is just because of the volume of content he puts out.
Yeah, I probably do a little too much.
Well, it's a benefit. I mean, the thing is, putting out a good number of content is because what happens is like a lot of content creators, like, they can't keep a steady upload schedule, and that can be a problem, particularly when you're just starting out. I want to imagine Zeus never cheated, but everyone used him as a scapegoat for their human infidelity. That would be interesting. Like, wait, why are you pregnant? Zeus.
Zeus is the reason.
Zeus came down, so you can't hurt me, otherwise you'll upset Zeus. But if I hurt you, I will. If I don't hurt you, I'll upset Hera.
It's a catch-22 moment. I love it. Hey, we actually won this one.
Yeah.
Go Team Wa.
But then there's the guys like,
Oh my gosh. Oh, we had buddies on our team too. That's so awesome. I love it. I love it. That's so crazy. A Rep 70 Shaolin and Kinset. Oh, wow.
The next new hero is going to be... I thought the next new hero was going to be...
No, the next new hero is an Outlander. The next new hero is an Outlander. Viking comes at the end of the year. Vikings at the end of the year. Sorry. Oh, I gotta do an assassin. Okay. Ravenlord, do either of you have a preferred version adaptation of the War of the Worlds? Not really. The book was fine.
My preferred adaptation is the underappreciated classic World at War by Harry Turtledove, which has very little to do with the actual book.
Oh, I have a bad feeling. I have a very bad feeling. I have a very bad feeling. Don't do it. Don't do it, game. Thank God. I thought it was about to put me in a situation where it was just me against like 4 enemies. That happened to me not long ago, and I got destroyed. Oh, man.
Zeus, anytime he sees a woman, it's free real estate.
You ain't wrong, son. You ain't wrong. Let's go Tan Hu. I'm going to go Tan Hu.
The World War series. Lark is clearly a man of class. Of course. I mean, don't you like seeing George Patton take on the alien menace outside of Chicago?
That is pretty baller.
Yep.
Anyway.
We also got 2 different Jaegers.
Jaeger bombastic. Anyway, what else is going on in chat?
Let's see. Hey, Raven, have you gotten anyone to Rep 70? And if so, if not, who do you want your first to be?
I have gotten no one to Rep 70. My highest rep right now would be probably Warden at Rep 32. I think it's 32. It might be 31. But whatever the case, yeah, I probably want Warden to get there first. Because I love Warden, even though Warden is objectively the worst Vanguard in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Raven, thoughts on Lu Bu and Wu Long? He was the hardest human opponent for me to fight. But I owe my victory in Wu Long to him. Because what happened was, before I got to him, I basically just won through luck most of the time. I won just by being tenacious and getting lucky. But when I fought him, there was no luck involved. Lark can attest. I spent days trying to figure out how to beat him. And I had to master timing. I had to master my deflection. Like it was unforgiving. I had to master it. And when I finally mastered my deflection and mastered that, I was able to beat Lubu. But then after that, I just didn't enjoy any more of the bosses because Lubu taught me to be such a deflection god that now I could do it to any boss I fought. And it's like, I'm just walking through these bosses now. I think I only had bosses beat me maybe 2 or 3 times before I figured them out and beat them. The only exception being the final boss, who I actually did have some trouble with. Like, that one actually was really rough. But other than that, Lubu was the hardest one for me to beat. Actually, you want to know what's funny? Fighting Lubu as a human, unbelievably hard. I was on the struggle bus with that one. Fighting Lubu when he goes demon mode, 1 try and I beat him. I beat him on my first try. Yeah.
I just did the big cheese against Lubu. Let's see. Hey Raven and Lark, what is your favorite Treasure Island movie?
Muppet Treasure Island
Definitely
is my favorite. Yeah. Tim Curry as Long John Silver is just golden.
Yep, that is perfect. His last name may have been Silver, but his performance was golden.
Well said, Mark. Well said.
Thank you. I want male armor for Black Prior. That's all I want this year, please. I know how you feel, Vlad. I know you. What about Treasure Planet? Oh, Treasure Planet's great, but like the Muppet Treasure Island was just such a gem to us growing up that I just have to put that as #1. Oh, the Captain Fever song? Yeah, that was odd. What was the name?
Can't keep him off me.
What was the name of the woman on the crew?
Big fat ugly bug faced baby eating O'Brien.
Hi. It's like,
but then what's even funnier is right after they said her, they said Angie Marie, and then this ugly Muppet pops up. Oi! I'm like,
Can I see you all in my office real quick? Who hired this crew? Do you have a Dobiny loadout for Warden?
I did.
But then we had to fill it with other stuff.
Ah, crap.
I just got into a match with Jormungandr and I'm doing bad. I had no idea he got a rework and I hate it.
Oh, his rework is so fucking strong. My favorite song from Muppet Treasure Island, Shiver My Timbers. Yeah, that's a good song. That is such a good song. But I still love Cabin Fever.
We've got Cabin Fever.
That was such a... The way I look at it is the Muppets Treasure Island... What I love is there are 2 Muppet movies that I love. Muppets Treasure Island and A Muppet's Christmas Carol. And the 2 stars in both, you have... Tim Curry in Treasure Island. Who was the one from, who was Scrooge in Muppets?
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. The difference in how they performed it is so telling. Michael Caine treated it as if Michael Caine treated it as if all the Muppets, were real people. And you could tell because he treated the role dead seriously. Tim Curry, though, just acted like he was a Muppet. That was the difference. Gosh, I thought because these 2 were friends, they'd be able to kick butt. They're really not as good as I thought they'd be.
Yep.
There you go. There you go. I had to help give that one. Don't emote. You didn't deserve that one. You didn't earn that one. Stop it.
So if Lark, if you and Raven could buy one 40K model, what would it be? Kavan Shrike? Unironically, if I could buy like one model or model set, I'd probably get the Death Core of Krieg. That or a Black Templar model.
Crap. I wouldn't buy any of those. Because remember, humanity's evil.
Indeed.
I'm not reading that joke, Lord Thunder. And I'm ashamed of you for putting it there.
Yeah, I've been trying to ignore him putting that up.
Like, if you do that again, we're blocking you.
Got
like,
it.
I'm not joking. That's not appropriate. We're not repeating it. It's not funny.
Oh my gosh, have you seen the Red Alert 3 Tim Curry going into space? Yes, we have. I'm going to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space! Spice! Let's see, question for you, Raven. If you could make one of your For
I
Honor...
thought I parried that.
If you could make one of your For Honor Legends characters canon in the actual For Honor story, which one would you choose?
Ruth, probably.
Because we're ruthless.
Yep, I think Ruth belongs in the For Honor canon. It's actually funny. One of the For Honor lore content creators besides me out there, gosh, what is her name? Eridalupi, or Eridalupi, whichever you want to say. I don't remember how you pronounce it. She did a video for Havoc where she made, or not a video, maybe just art for Havoc, where his warden now has a canon story. And I'm like, wait, hold on, come on. Oh, good timing there.
Oh, my heavens. True edge. So every day going, everybody. We're doing alright. We're doing alright. Hello, Jedi!
Man, the timing of your heavies is just on point, Warmonger. Did that Shinobi even... Yeah, the Shinobi died twice, okay. But the Shugoki only died... How did the Shugoki only die once? That's surprising. Oh, he's probably just camping out an A. That's probably what he's doing.
Very true. In the words of Alternate History Hub, we created weaves. Thanks, Tim Curry. You ruined everything. Oh, gosh. The Alternate History Hub's dry wit is one of my favorite things. Particularly if you look at Pointless Hub. He has some real bangers there. Ubisoft, what are you doing? We tell you what we want, and then you give us something completely out of left field. That's the problem, because we tell them what we want, then the other part of the fan base tells us what we want, and then they make something, and then nobody's happy.
Oh, so you're going to pull that moment on me. All right. Throw your fire flask, I'll revive this guy, and die.
Renee is a brilliant security guard. Unfortunately, I go into work tonight.
Are you not going to pick me up, you ass? You're just gonna stand there and emote spam over me while you wait? Yeah, no, screw you. I hope we lose.
Man runs into a bar saying he needs a dozen of the most expensive shots. The bartender does so reluctantly, and the man starts shooting them back.
Anyway. Well, you're not becoming a wolf with that attitude. No, he was just standing over there like emote spamming over me instead of picking me up.
It's like, listen, if you don't want to pick us up, fine. Go fight the enemy.
And there they go, emoting. Okay. Good job, guys. You won. Oh, good job.
Hey, Raven Lark, what is your favorite group in Star Wars?
Shark, I love the fact that all of your questions never have anything to do with what we're talking about.
He's just trying to move the conversation along, and I appreciate that.
No, that's always the way it is. It's like, we'll be talking about Warhammer. Hey, let's talk about Treasure Island. We'll be talking about For Honor. Hey, let's talk about like.
Well, Shark Chaos knows that it's like, all right, we got to move this conversation forward. Here we go.
It's just funny to me.
Yes, Lord Thunder, we got you.
Raven, I'm sorry for making that joke. I'll not say good. We can move on. It's not a big deal. I'm not mad or nothing, but you kept posting it like twice or 3 times or something.
I was hoping he would take the hint when I didn't read it.
Like, we're not going to read that out loud because, for one thing, we could get in trouble, and 2, it could get this channel hurt because right now I have a strike on my channel, and if YouTube wants to get rid of me, they can use that as a way to get rid of me. So that's why I won't read it.
Yep. And to answer your question, the Old Galactic Republic.
Yeah, the old Galactic Republic would be awesome.
Hey, Raven, what's the most strange class of warrior in history?
The most strange class.
So the strangest warrior.
I'm gonna go Shaolin this time. Most strange warrior. The Maori are fascinating.
Yeah, they're pretty strange. Rajputs are also pretty unusual as well. The Iko-Iki are a bit of a contradiction. And the Bretonian peasant.
Anyway,
Not the same.
anything else going on in chat?
It's rolling quick. I'm trying.
Wow.
Okay, let's see. Speaking of class, what do you could you explain the concept of a caste system? It's a bit strange from our perspective.
You're asking about how a caste system works?
Yeah.
Lark, hit him with it. You understand that stuff really well.
It depends, like, there's various different caste systems. Probably the most famous one is the Hindu caste system.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the concept is you are born into a specific job or role or class in society.
Think like the feudal age of the samurai, like in the Edo period.
Yeah.
When you're born samurai, you stay samurai.
You're
when you're
born a
born
commoner,
peasant, you stay peasant. Like what you're born to is what you are. But yeah, I knew that you would. I couldn't remember the one that you brought up as your example, but it was the Hindu caste system.
Yeah, it was the Hindu caste system.
I couldn't remember which one it was.
Yeah, but the thing is, and it's interesting because like the Hindu caste system didn't start as like such a rigid caste. Like you could actually move castes until they started to solidify over the years. It's a little weird. How does it work? Hardly works.
It can work, but the pieces need to fall in place.
Basically, the idea is like, hey, particularly with Hinduism, they say like, hey, this caste is forever supposed to do this specific job.
Right.
And thing is, if your father was this, then you have to be that.
Yeah.
And the gods designed it this way because they reincarnated you as this.
The samurai did very similar. The Japanese did something very similar. They basically, part of it was not only their religion, that what you were born to indicated who you were in a previous life, but also the idea of, they had one of the problems with the caste system is you can't enforce it on a people who desire freedom. If you have a people who desire freedom and the ability to move up and down in the social echelon, a caste system won't work because they will revolt against it.
Well,
but the samurai wanted it. The Japanese. What the? You're just trying to sneak around to the other side?
That was actually one of the reasons why Buddhism and Islam actually were very appealing to certain people in India because it would allow them to get out of the caste system.
Highlander, stop feeding her revenge. You idiot! You have just given a god the power of invulnerability, and now... And now I'm outgunned.
Yep, I could be conqueror of the day. Hey, Raven, I don't know if you ever answered the question, but
God damn!
What hero in For Honor do you find complicated to play?
Oh please, Highlander, lay the fuck off. Which one do I find the most complicated to play? None of them are that complicated, if I'm being honest. But it just... Nah, I mean, all of them are pretty basic once you get the hang of it. I would say right now, hold on. You've earned this, son. After your little emote spamming session. That's what I thought. Anyway, probably Aphira.
I suppose. Let's see. Hey Raven, trying to build lore for my Berserker Man ideas, he believes that drawing animal skins on his head, he will turn into one in the heat of battle. He also wears a wolf cap to become like that of the wolf.
Did that guy emote though? Yeah, I saw him emote. Don't worry, I saw it. I'm not blind.
Lawbringer fashion ain't bad. Yeah, he's got drip, but the drip is being soiled by bad attitude.
Exactly.
Hey, Raven and Lark, you just got your hands on a TARDIS somehow. What is your first destination?
A TARDIS?
The Doctor Who's time travel thingy.
Oh, okay, there we go.
First destination? See, I'm not sure. I'm not sure we're British enough to operate it.
Yeah, I don't really care. Like, TARDIS isn't my thing. I don't really care for Doctor Who. I've always seen it as overrated, pretentious garbage.
I saw a season or two of the newer stuff. I thought it was okay, but the newer stuff is just meh. And then there's a few things I saw, like one of the Doctors spout, that I was vehemently against. And I don't know. Sometimes I feel like the way the writers use the Doctor, they basically make him like a god, but doesn't want to be a god, and it irritates me. I'd like to investigate it. Like, if we're just doing full time machine question, yeah, going back and looking at ancient colors, I'd like to figure out about the Minoans, personally. Hey, Raven, what's your opinion on Star Trek?
I never really cared for it all that much. Yeah, all the emoting going on in here. Get out of here, Val. Yeah, I think after this I'm switching over to,
Breach.
Breach, yeah. Yeah. This is getting dumb. Isn't Superman a guy who doesn't want to be a god? No, he wants it. He just doesn't like the responsibilities that come with it.
Yep. And the problem is, like, the way, like, the Time Lord, the Doctor, acts, he basically acts like humanity is his pets, and they're only allowed to do what he thinks they're allowed to do. And if they get out of line, he's gonna smack them. I'm avoiding Salem in 1694. I don't know, I might go to 1694 and testify. And if they try and get after me, I'm gonna escape. They're describing 11, not the Doctor in general. Yeah, I know. Like, from what I understand, like, the original Doctor show was actually pretty fun and educational. I'm referring to the newer crap.
Oh well, not a good night in Dominion, I'll be honest. What a shame.
Shine?
Well, 2 good matches, a bunch of bad ones.
The way you describe the sculptor sounds very British, in the sense that I can sense the urge to tell him to piss off and fish his tea out of the harbor. Not quite, because the problem is, if I threw tea in the harbor, he'd be the one that come in and give me a lecture about how much of a terrible person I am, and shouldn't I know better? Raven, do you listen to vintage music or medieval hymns and chants? I despise modern chants and miss the fact that music, like all art, was full of meaning, beauty, and purpose.
Yep. I listen to hymns and chants, yeah.
Yep. Latin chants do be hitting different, though. Warhammer's one of the games that's just really fun to watch and play. The presentation has always been peak. Tempted to boot it up now, even though I'm a little tired. To be good in the fight. I feel you, Joanne. Then you throw him in. Go get your tea, you filthy Brit. I see you, Lorca.
This Valk is a little too good.
My cat stole my cheese string. Well, you must punish the furry critter.
How did... Wait, it's saying none of them have died? Not one of these fools has died. Are you kidding me?
That is rude.
There's no way this is possible. And it says we haven't even gotten any kills. What is going on with that?
Yeah, we saw you.
I killed that Lawbringer.
Something
is wrong here.
Something's fishy.
It's like it froze or something. This is atrocious. This whole match is a joke.
Uncommon opinion. I like British television more than American. I don't think it's that uncommon.
It's not that uncommon.
Walking with Dinosaurs for Life. Okay, BBC did a very good documentary with walking with dinosaurs and beasts and such. Who's got the hack? That's what we want to know.
Yeah, I'm wondering who. Well, Raven. Yeah, I'm pissed. This whole match is a joke. I am curious as to who's hacking.
Let me say glitches. Could it be a glitch? Possibly. Could it be hackers? Also possible. You're right, Sushi. Actually, you got me there. Check now, see if it's registered kills now. Nope.
No, it's still either it's a glitch or we've got a hacker.
Maybe both. Who can say? I find it a little amusing that one of the most played movies on BBC America is The Patriot. Really? That's a shock. I thought the Brits hated that. Because typically, anytime I hear a British person bring it up, they want to tell me how inaccurate it is. Like I don't already know. It just works. That's more of a Bethesda line there, Vlad, but I get what you're saying. Hey, thanks for popping in, Wamba.
This is a joke. I don't think it's the two friends. They didn't do anything last.
Well, I don't
time.
know. Have you looked at their flags? They look a little French Canadian.
But I also don't want to say it's a Val because she's on PlayStation. So I don't know how she could do that.
My brother served a mission in England. He got a cake for 4th of July. Well, that was nice of the Brits there. Will we ever get a new Elder Scrolls game? I'm still waiting.
I don't know at this point, honestly.
It's been, 12 years now? Well, it'll be 12 years in November. So, I know they're waiting, they're going to do Starfield, and then they're going to work on the Elder Scrolls. I'm just like, gosh, I'm getting tired of waiting, honestly. Hey, Raven and Lark, did you guys hear about VTuber Iron Mouse watching an old video by Skullgrim, then Skullgrim reacted to her watching it? I know about it.
I
just haven't
don't.
watched it.
I don't know that much about that kind of stuff.
And is an Iron Mouse a type of Skaven? I feel like that's something that a Skaven would do.
I mean, yeah.
Can't wait to play it.
Yeah, we're done with Dominion tonight, guys. That last one made me mad, so I'm done. Let's pull out.
Is The Patriot a good movie? Yeah,
I think it's a great movie.
It's a good movie. Is it historically accurate? No, but it's still fun.
Being historically accurate doesn't necessarily mean it's good or bad.
Yep. I was like, Gladiators.
VTubers are all actually Skaven. No, here's the thing. I respect VTubers. They're taking part in a hobby that I know very little about, and with technology that I am grossly unfamiliar with. Some of the designs I've seen of VTubers are kind of unique. The only one that I know anything about is like that one shark one, Gargura or whatever her name is. She's the only one I know anything about because she kept popping up in my recommended for some reason, and I'll never know why. But she's the only one that I knew about, and then all these others started popping up. I know that they exist, but other than that, I don't know much else about them. I do know that one, I remember this. I remember one VTuber mentioning Ranma. I remember that, and it made me laugh.
Yeah.
Because usually if they mention Ranma, I'm like, oh, what do you have to say about that? Because it was my favorite anime for a while.
Typically for me, how I deal with VTuber content is the shorts will inevitably filter themselves out to me if they're funny enough. That's typically how I operate. It's more historically accurate than Assassin's Creed 3. VTuber. What about if the VTuber is a Twitch streamer, Jedi? What do we do then? They're even sad to see the last Dominion match, but happy catching the stream. But I'm gonna head to bed. Got to work in the morning. Well, good night, Silver.
Good night, man. Have a good one. And yeah, I'll apologize. I'm sorry about that last Dominion match. I was mad. I don't like it when people gank and then emote about it, but then even worse when it looks like there was some kind of glitch at best.
And then you got to start wondering, was there a hacker?
Because I don't know. I mean, I don't want to scream hacks. I don't want to scream that.
I do though. Hacks.
But at the same time, I'm like, what was that?
A friend has fallen to watching South Park shorts. I may need to put him down. Just make it quick and clean, Draken. Quick and clean. I know this may sound dumb, but what are VTubers? Wamba, VTubers are basically streamers that they have like a little software that puts like an anime figurine over their person, so it looks like you're watching like an anime girl or guy.
Yeah, it basically picture a 3D model of an anime girl or boy in place of a streamer's camera, and that's pretty much what a VTuber is. They're a virtual tuber.
Okay. So where's my Skaven VTuber? There has to be one. I would love to see a Claw plays Vermintide. I can say this feels wrong. Elder Scrolls 6 will probably release when Lark is 60, and Lark will most likely be the oldest gamer in America at that point. I don't know. I mean, when I'm 60,
I've seen some old gamers.
They'll probably be like when we get old enough to be in the retirement home. I guarantee you, there's going to be some 360s LAN parties like set up and things like that. People will still be playing Blood Gulch. There's a Kyoshin VTuber. They got to be eradicated now. I'm sorry.
They must be destroyed with the utmost prejudice.
I want Throt the Unclean on my screen right now. Well, you can't have that much, you know, it's like, he has too much charisma. What more? Ikit Claw playing Warhammer 3 as Ikit Claw, that'd be hilarious, metagaming.
The funny thing is, if I ever became a VTuber, I know that it would be designed with Claire instead of me.
You have two options. You can either have Claire, which would please Hannah, or you can have basically you with a helmet, and just every time you talk, the helmet sort of jiggles.
Or just treat it like Tonkatsu Sinclair.
Oh gosh, that guy's hilarious.
And I do it, like, I do it with Tonkatsu, just like, hey guys, you're probably wondering what the hell.
This is how we treat all heretics.
Yep, this is the way we treat the heretics.
Oh gosh, we're about to get crucified for this one. Like, what do you think of Elder Scrolls Morrowind? Many old school fans say it's better than Skyrim. Yeah, we're aware.
Yeah, we're aware they say that, and you know,
they're allowed to be
wrong. You know, they can be wrong. I have no problem with people being wrong.
And listen, I haven't played a lot of Morrowind. I get why people like it, and it's a fun game, and I understand like why for very much the things you say, how it's sort of an alien world. The Dark Elves are cool and all that jazz, and I understand it. I prefer Skyrim.
Yeah, Skyrim's better.
That's just me.
Skyrim's better.
And if you prefer Morrowind, that's okay. If you prefer Oblivion, that's okay. But don't crucify me when I say, yeah, I like Skyrim the best.
Because I think it's so funny the way people go, like, Skyrim is just so overrated. Like, yeah, contrarianism is a thing.
Yeah, guys, heretics do follow a predictable pattern.
Yo, hey, Aaron, you finally made it. I was starting to wonder when you'd get here.
He was hiding in the shadows. But yeah, I think there's sort of like an effect, like people will latch on to like a favorite game of a generation, and nothing ever will top it. Just like, I know Fallout 4 didn't please all taste, but I remember like the first day it came out, there were people proudly saying, I'm going back to New Vegas. Like, okay, have fun. And then they get mad at me for not going back to New Vegas too. It's like, no, you have to play, you can't play Fallout 4. Like, I'm gonna play it if I enjoy it. I used to play Oblivion, then I took an arrow to the knee. Happens to the best of us. Alright, so what if we made an orc Vocaloid heavy metal band? Do you think it would
orc Vocaloid heavy? Are you...
Edward, I think you're onto something there. You gotta strike while the science hot. It is up to you now, Edward.
Bunch of girl orcs in, like, skimpy outfits.
No. Only one girl orc. The rest are a bunch of orcs that are just in drag that they don't know they're in drag, though.
That is so wrong on every level.
I have to.
That makes me kind of sick. I'm actually a little nauseous just imagining that.
Yeah, I understand that thought process, Sushi. Speaking of Fallout 4, who's your favorite companion in the game? Dogmeat.
Curie.
Dogmeat will never judge my decisions. You could be a cannibal, and Dogmeat's just there.
Curie will love me unconditionally and speak in an adorable accent.
Indeed. Also like Piper.
Piper's fine.
I know people annoy him. I actually like Preston. I think the problem is a lot of people don't actually carry Preston around as a companion. But Preston's pretty good in a firefight.
Yeah.
Orc girls are kawaii.
Cool. I love that joke. I love it so. Just see, the song wasn't bad, but the opening was just amazing. Because when I first saw it, I was like, "There's no way that could work." Then I realized, oh yeah, the WoW field doesn't care about reality. They just think, okay, we'll put all these wigs and stuff on, and that'll make. And then just me still feeling orky, boss. There's just something else now. Me's feeling kawaii.
That'll forever be the best sketch Stringstorm has ever done.
Yeah, for sure. That was top tier.
Speaking of alternate history, I heard there's a book where medieval knights managed to thwart an alien invasion and launch crusades across the stars. Okay, you can't just drop that on me, Jedi, and not tell me the title of that book, because I want to know now.
I like how no one likes Hancock.
No, I like Hancock fine. It's just he's not my first pick. I like how you immediately meet him and his first reaction is to stab a guy trying to swindle you. I think that's a great introduction. That would be like me walking to the IRS office and somebody just walks in and shoots the teller right in front of me. It's like, I'm sorry, I noticed he was bugging you. Raven, talking about kawaii Neko orcs. Neko, okay.
Okay, I didn't say Nika. I didn't say
definitely
Neko.
entered an alternate dimension. Well, that's how the WoW field works. Minutemen are the best faction. Morally speaking, yes. I personally like Cat as a companion, but I think it's just my preference for Irish redheads. Yeah, Irish redheads do be hitting different. I will admit that. I didn't like Cat for a long time because, of course, bugs made it so that every time I would go talk to her, the game would crash. Because Bethesda, you gotta work on that. Been playing Medjai, and while I do enjoy him, I can't believe that he was the hero that came before Aphira and the Yorm rework. He feels like he's come from a completely different age of For Honor.
I can understand that.
Yeah. I personally think the Aztecs were kind of strange with all the good old blood rituals. Yeah, even the Mesoamericans at the time were going, Aztecs, we don't have to do that. They say bold words for someone in sacrificing range. My brother was traveling with Hancock, and he was trying to rep up with him. He got naked, and suddenly Hancock idolized him.
What about Lola Bunny? I was distracted and heard Bunny. Lola Bunny?
Whoa.
What does Lola Bunny have to do with anything?
Listen, I don't know. That seems a little heretical to me. You just brought that up. I think the Black Templars need to pay you a visit. Pyra feels the same, too, sort of. She got nerfed hard. But both she and Medjai need reworks, changes, / buffs.
Pirate needs help. Medjai, I don't have much of a problem with. Pirate needs help.
Because the glitcher feature doesn't matter, it just works. No, it doesn't. Listen, probably the biggest glitch that'll always irritate me is, like, the first time I played Fallout 3 on PC, I had to actually go in and edit code to make the game actually run. It's like, I should not have to do that. I have 4 favorite companions. They are Preston, good choice, McCready, never really used him, Nick, fair enough, and X6. They look and fly in those trench coats. Okay, if you're judging on appearance, yes, I get you then.
Yeah.
Get the Jarl.
Get the Jarl.
Wasn't Pirate OP like 3 weeks ago?
No, Pirate was OP on launch. Everyone bitched. She got nerfed into the ground. Now she's one of the weaker tier heroes.
Mm-hmm.
But Ubisoft doesn't want to fix her yet because they're worried it'll be pirate favoritism, especially since everyone's been begging for a Yorm rework.
Indeed.
I think poor Pirate just got shot.
You actually had to edit code? Yes, I actually had to go into the game files and change figures around because the way Bethesda sold it to me, it basically made like the game would keep crashing whenever you would pull it up. Because like the code didn't said Fallout 4 no exist or Fallout 3 no exist, so I had to go in, change it. Fallout 3 do exist, and it was actually thankfully it was a common enough problem that people had like on forums like here's the code you have to go and change and edit.
Faux show.
Mm-hmm. I like Fallout 4, but those blood bugs freaked me out. Still to this day. Clearly, you've never been to Louisiana, because that's just the average mosquito.
Yeah, actually, that wasn't the thing that freaked me out in Fallout 4. Those mosquitoes, I see those daily. Summertime here in the South, we call them the nuclear bugs.
Yep. They'll just take your child. You gotta watch them. Honestly, the rad scorpions, in my opinion, were pretty freaky.
Well, I hate the French Curie with their human body and cute little accent be making me act up.
Son, you ain't wrong. Son, you ain't wrong.
You know, it's like it depends on the French. Like, for example, France, I'm not a big fan of. Remove Paris out of the equation, France starts looking pretty good. That's how it is. I think I just hate cities. I think that's how it is.
Probably.
What's wrong?
Shotguns solve mosquito problems. That they do, Aaron. They do.
What is wrong with y'all? Would you like that list alphabetically or chronologically?
I think it all began
when I was born.
Yeah. Well, let's see if y'all can get me ranting, because we're on the breach portion of the evening, so now's the time to get me ranting. Fallout 4, love Curie, she gets a human body. Ooh, yeah, dude, you didn't know that?
When I found that out, I was like, so can I get my other robot a synth body?
Okay, so Aaron apparently didn't know this. Aaron, I will explain. Curie, when you find her, okay, if you get her relationship up with you enough, she'll reveal to you that she wants to pull a Pinocchio and become human, and you tell her that you'll help her find a way. Then you have to complete some of the main quest line to find the what do they call it? The memory
memory den.
The memory den. Once you find the memory den, then go let Curie know about it and say that there could be a place at the memory den where you could become human. Then you go to the memory den, let the lady know, hey, could we maybe give a robot a synth body? She says that's crazy, but it might work. So you bring Curie there, wait 24 hours, and then go back, and they will have a smoking hot synth body waiting for her. They'll plug her into it, and you will have yourself a French-speaking hottie that hangs out with you, and you can romance her since synth bodies can replicate perfectly human emotions and feelings. So she will be so just keep romancing her, and she will eventually be the cutest little waifu that's ever existed in Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
True story.
Let's see.
Okay, and if I'm being honest, I'm playing Orochi right now because I'm inspired by Havoc's recent video where he schooled this guy that he was playing against. I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to play Orochi now. Sorry, guys, I still hate the French. Okay.
You're allowed.
You're allowed to.
Fallout Wifey the game.
I can comment on Human Curie, but feel dirty. Aaron, I don't blame you. Really
it's like the thing. I'm with the brother who steal the way. Since they're not even human, I don't see it. Curie enters the room. I'm sorry, I can't. I have to leave now. Hey Raven, didn't the Aztecs have an entire category of slaves specifically for sacrifice?
Yep.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
Yep.
I like the spy from TF2. Yeah, there you go. That's a good Frenchman.
Yeah. The spy from TF2 is a good one.
Honestly, the spy...
Although my favorite spy is the spy from Spy X Family.
Of course.
Lloyd Forger, man. Best there is.
Waku Wak Supremacy.
Waku Wak Supremacy.
It actually isn't, like, Wak the French sound.
Waka, that's the French sound. I love how you tied that back with that stupid joke.
Hey, you really liked my stupid jokes in the one-shot last week, didn't you?
Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah, we never talked about that, guys. Did you know that I was actually part of a Dungeons and Dragons?
I'll let you explain that while
Okay, all right. Lark's got to go use the banyo. In the meantime, did y'all know that I was actually part of a Dungeons and Dragons one-shot earlier this week on Monday? Yeah, Lark invited me to a one-shot. It was crazy. My first time having a really good one-shot. I actually really enjoyed it. So yeah, do y'all want to hear about the one-shot, or do y'all want to just move on from that? Because I'll talk about it if you want to. Also, isn't baño a Greek word? I don't know. I think it's a Spanish word. Bro, I'd love to see the live stream of that. We didn't live stream the one shot, okay? Any new anime series you have anything to talk about? The most recent anime series that I watched was Life in a fantasy world where my best friend got reincarnated as a total hottie. I think that's
I think that's what it's called. I'm probably misremembering it.
Yeah, that was a total babe or something like that. Oh yeah, they want to hear about the one shot.
Okay, all right. We'll talk about the one shot. I was letting you come back because you were the one who were the DM, so you have more intimate knowledge of the specs.
Yeah, well, I also kind of want to hear it from the perspective of the player too.
Okay, so here's what happened. Lark invites me to do this Dungeons and Dragons thing with his friends Kyle and Forrest. Now keep in mind, my experience with Dungeons and Dragons is pretty limited. I've only been in 2 sessions before, not campaigns, sessions. I started off the first campaign they did with them, but I didn't enjoy it because I didn't understand what was going on and wasn't all that impressed with it. Then work got in the way, so I never got involved again, so I stayed out of the campaign. Then they did a one-shot, and Lark invited me to it, but the DM, Kyle, did a terrible job and did
it wasn't even a one-shot. It was actually supposed to be part of the campaign, but it was so bad we just considered it non-canon.
Well, it was so boring and nothing happened. Like, he did no playing at all. It was terrible. And Lark read him the riot act for that. It was pretty bad. So I wasn't interested in doing anymore, but Lark begged me to join in on this one, and I said, all right, I'll join in on this one, but if it's not good, I reserve the right to never do anymore. So that was how that worked. We agreed to get it started, and Lark and I, the guys came over, we sat down, had dinner, and then we got started on the DM. Now, my character, I was running a Centaur Paladin. Her name was Thea, and the reason I wanted to do that was because I like centaurs, first of all. Centaurs are my favorite mythical race, so I wanted to do a centaur character. When Lark said that you could, I was like, oh, sweet. And then he said, okay, what class do you want to be? And I was like, what class would you recommend? Because I didn't know what the best option was. He said, I see you more as a paladin. Let's see if we can't combine your paladin traits with the centaur traits. And after looking over everything, Lark told me, oh my gosh, like, Raven, you could make an absolute broken character by making a centaur paladin. And I said, really? He said, yeah. So I said, all right, I'll try it. So Thea became a thing. So we get started. All right, so the setup was this. I should tell you the others. Forrest was playing a cleric, I think?
He was playing a cleric, but he was using the 1 D&D rules because he wanted to experiment, and I said, yeah, let's use a one-shot to playtest it.
Right, so he was doing a cleric, 1 D&D rules, and very pious. He was playing a very pious cleric. And Kyle, meanwhile, was playing a fighter who was a pirate, and he was just an absolute asshole. Like, that's what he was. He was just a complete
That's
jerk.
Just all of his characters.
Well, he just acted like a jerk to everyone. I was kind of like, what's the point?
He plays neutral jackass every character.
It's really weird. But anyway, so the whole setup was that we had all been called to a town to investigate and meet with someone from the temple from our own created world. This world that we were in was a created world that me and Lark had created for a story, but that Lark said could be used for D&D, called the Tigerian Empire. And we were very happy to give this a shot. So we were meeting in a town. What was the name of the town again?
Casalia.
Casalia, that's right. We were meeting in Casalia. And so we go to this temple to meet with a man of the cloth who explains to us the situation. Apparently, these a bunch of civilians have been going missing lately, and anytime the town guard or soldiers try to look into the problem, the Inquisition of the Blue Cloth, or the Inquisition of the Blue, or the Blue Inquisition, whatever you call them. I know that it was Blue Inquisition.
It was the Blue Inquisition.
They basically showed up and would say that they would deal with the problem. Why am I running here like I'm a defender? I don't know why I did that. Hold on. So they would show up and they would say that they would take care of the problem. And the fear is that the Inquisition has been corrupted by some dark force. So our job was to look into what was actually happening to the people, find out if the Inquisition was behind it, and then deal with it if necessary. So we start looking around, trying to find out what's going on. We decide first to go into town and just kind of look around, and we notice an Inquisitor of the Blue Cloth sneaking around, so I chase after him and catch him, and we decide to interrogate him. He makes a break for it and runs away to a stable. We go to the stable but can't find him, so we decide to split up and look around. I'm looking through the stables, trying to find out where the Inquisitor's hiding, and I notice that 2 of the horses have inquisitorial brands on their flanks. So I make the assumption that these must be the Inquisitor's horses, and if we let them loose, they'll run back to where they came from, which would lead us to their hideout. And this upset Laura, because he's like, oh crap, he could do that, and that would ruin everything that I've been doing right now, so you had to make a quick change.
You know, it was a logical conclusion based on what I had laid out. So I was like, yeah, I got to point you back to the actual developed content. So.
Yep. So eventually, what happened was we met the owner of the stable, who it turns out was actually in cahoots with the Inquisitors, and knew all about the kidnapping. And so we had to try to interrogate him, but he gets killed by the people who hired him. So that was another dead end. The horses take off running, so we chase after them, but then they get stopped by the town guard, and we end up meeting the head of the town guard named Captain Titus. Captain Titus explains to us the situation and introduces us to a couple men who might be able to help us because they've been complaining about family members being disappearing. Hold on. So we decide to follow up on this and look into what's going on, where their missing family could be, what was going on, like how do we find them, that kind of thing. Hold on. Oh, I'm dead. Crap. Anyway, so we decide to follow up on this, do some looking. Forrest uses a skill that allows him to view the location of the missing son. We find out where the son Ragnar is. And we head over to the location by boat. We get there, and our first real fight starts. I get started first. I bolt off the boat that we're on, and I charge at the first nearby. I think they were dark elves.
Drow.
They were drow. Okay.
Which is what dark elves are, but yeah.
So I charge at this first drow, and I combine my charge ability with my
Divine Smite,
as well as my polearm mastery to rip into him, and for some reason I was rolling a lot of crits that night.
You rolled 4 to 5 crits in one session.
Like, it was kind of scary how many critical hits I was getting. And I ended up, I think, killing that first drow after my second attack on him.
Yeah.
So that was shocking. But then one of the drow turns out to be an arachnomancer, so he turns into a giant FU spider. Now we've got to deal with this guy. So the other two go off to go fight their own problems. I've noticed that throughout the fight, Forrest and Kyle kind of stuck together. I was often by myself.
You didn't need their help, and typically Forrest needed to bail Kyle out of whatever stupid situation he landed in.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh crap! I'm surrounded. I need to roll a critical. There it is. Crap!
I can just imagine the guys that killed the assassins of the stable master being like, "Good, one less loose end."
Oh god, I'm so close to dead. I'm gonna run and go heal. Anyway, so as I was saying, so I go in and I run after this other guy who's trying to run away, and then I kill that guy. Then I kill the spider. I killed the giant spider, and so I ended up killing 3 of the baddies. So we killed all the baddies. We find all the slaves that they've been capturing, all the kidnapped people. But while they're going over there to check that out, I noticed that there's someone hiding on the other side of the island that we were on.
Great perception check.
Great perception check. And then I command him. I used command to call him over. Lork was not expecting that either. He was like, "No, I thought this was going to go a totally different direction."
I thought you were just going to try and talk to him.
No, I attacked him. I wasn't taking any prisoners.
You're like, "Screw you, get over here."
And then literally when we're about to kill him, Lork, you have to say, "Now, do you want to kill him or do you want to knock him out?" And we're like, "By the way you said that, Lork, I think we better knock him out." So we knocked him out, got him on the ship, and then we convert him back to our side because Forrest is just a really awesome cleric.
Yeah, he played a really goody two-shoes cleric, which surprised me considering like every other character he's played up until this point has either been neutral or evil.
Yep. So we find out the location of the baddies. We go by Titus to drop off the folks, and then we decide to rest up in the church and prepare to go and deal with this awful cult that the Inquisition's been working for. So we get there, we get into a fight, and it becomes a fight in phases. Basically, after every 10 minutes, a new bad guy enters the field. And most of my fight was just, I was having to lock down one guy in a corner and constantly, I had run out of my crit luck at that point. I wasn't rolling crits like I was earlier. But then finally, when we're on the last guy, we fought them all down to a standstill. We were on the last guy. I run over and I kill him. So I ended up killing the last boss, who was a vampire, apparently.
A vampire or a vampire masquerading as an inquisitor.
Ah, even worse. And then that kind of wrapped up the evening. But it was very fun, and I really enjoyed using Thea. I
enjoyed seeing you use him, or use her, rather.
Well, it was funny because when I wrote Thea, I wrote her as this. I wrote her with her own story and everything. What I thought was kind of sad though is we didn't get to incorporate the story. And
well, keep in mind, I was incorporating like 4 other different characters.
Oh yeah, I'm not blaming you. Not at all. I'm not blaming you. I wasn't. I don't want you to get that idea.
Well, I actually did slightly incorporate it because I had it that the Father Graham, the quest giver, actually knew you, and I had christened you when your adoptive father brought you into the temple.
Oh, I missed that part.
It was very brief, so I don't blame you.
But yeah, so that was my first really good one-shot. It revived my faith in D&D. Yeah, Jaguar, you missed the D&D story. We just finished talking about it, man.
Yep.
We got to rewind and re-listen. But what I may do, if y'all want, I mean, Lark, if you're okay with this, I may do a video where I talk about Thea.
You can do a talk about Thea, and I can do a video talking about some of my D&D characters that I've run through, because I'm running on my 3rd right now, and I have 21 that I've created.
And hey, Raven, no one says that you can't play Thea in another what?
Who said it? Who said that?
A person.
A person. Hey, Raven, no one says you can't play Thea in another campaign.
Yeah, I totally could.
Yep. The only problem is, like, I was trying to set up a concept for another campaign, and if you bring Thea in to that campaign, I may have to level them down a little bit.
That's fine.
Because starting a campaign at level 12 is crazy.
Hey, Raven, what do you do when you're not making videos? I'm either working out, I'm actually working at, like, my job, because I have other jobs besides this. I'm reading, researching. I have a lot of things that I do. Sometimes I forget to sleep.
Yeah, I sometimes
Like last night, I was up until like 5:30. Something like that.
That's why your groggy was a mess when I woke you up.
I could not sleep. I felt sick. I felt sick last night and I couldn't fall asleep.
Yep. We need antisocial D&D. I believe that's what we call video game RPGs.
Aaron, are you getting tired? I'm seeing some typos, bro. Whenever Aaron gets tired, he has a lot of typos.
And he's going, no, I'm just drunk.
Maybe he is drunk. It is Friday.
That it is. Hold on, let me crack at it, Brewski.
Same this night only for me. It isn't sickness, but watching you that has kept me up. Oh, I appreciate that.
Aww. Needs more work as a breath. Now I gotta try playing centaurs at some point. They sound cool. Well, the nice thing about centaurs is they can charge. Like, if you can, like, the way it's written, like, if you can charge in a straight line for 30 feet, I was a little bit more lenient as that as a DM. I'm actually... They tell me I'm a pretty lenient DM when I do one-shots, and that's just because, like, I want people to have fun. But, if you charge, like, 30 feet, you can count it as a charge attack, which means after your first melee attack, you can attack with your hooves as well.
Yeah.
And so you could, as a paladin, the way it worked, you could charge, attack regularly with a divine smite, then hit with hooves, then you could hit with another melee attack, and then theoretically you could do another smite on top of that.
So to put it like this, how I attacked my first foe was charge, landed a crit, combined it with a divine smite. No, actually, it was a thunderous smite, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, thunderous smite.
It was a thunderous smite. Then I used hooves right after that to do an unarmed slam. Then I could follow up with a second attack, and perform Polearm Master off of that.
Oh yeah, because you're using a glaive.
Yeah, I was using a glaive, so I was able to do Polearm Master. Boy, Lark, you were kind of like...
I was a little concerned because I was like, maybe I should have made it harder monsters to go after. Because the Arachnomancer in that first encounter was supposed to be like the beefy boy that you were supposed to fight, while the Drow elite warriors, elite my foot, were supposed to, like, you know, just sort of help provide crowd control for the spider. But yeah, I was thinking, actually there was another route you could have taken that we would have had. You could have skipped the Drow entirely, fought 2 assassins, then gone to fight the Inquisitors. Raven, will you do a how to build your Impaler?
Yes, I will do a how to build on this character.
Yeah, respect for the glaive. Oh yeah, Kyle, and actually one of his rare good moves was he was actually came in with a fighter using a glaive. He wasn't terrible with it either. My last D&D campaign had all the characters playing gods from various pantheons and had to be reincarnated as mortals. Actually, that's a pretty cool idea.
Raven, what kind of robot character in an F game?
FNAF game.
Oh.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh.
What kind of... I don't know what
I don't
know. Like, they're automatons.
I don't know.
They're animatronics.
Yeah.
Dale Expert dropped $10 saying, alright, this could be a rant or just a discussion. When writing a character, if they're good or bad, are they enhanced by their gender brought down from it? I think you're also like, does the gender enhance the good or bad quality of, like, them being good or bad characters?
No. I would... Well, thank you for the money. Appreciate that. But I think what happens is a lot of people just assume that gender is this super important aspect to a character. And while gender, sure, is important, it's not the most important aspect to a character. And it shouldn't be. If you built your entire character on the fact that they's a girl and they has girl power, or they's a man and they're dominating, I think you missed the point. Hold on. I needed that heal. Jerk. But no, I don't. I think that when people make gender the most important aspect of a character, they do bring their character down, because then they're not a character; they're just a token. They're the token girl. They're the token boy. You know, we're going to think about I think one thing that I find so funny is people's definition of the strong woman character these days is a woman who doesn't need a man because she is a man and everything but penis, you know? So these people think of gender only in terms of stereotypes. They think of gender only in terms of crap. They think of gender only in terms of what the gender can provide to the story. Like, she's a girl, so if she kicks ass, it means girls are cool. But that takes away from the reality that this is a character with her own hopes and dreams that go beyond just her gender, you know? Like, if I have a character who dreams of becoming the world's best police officer, it doesn't matter if they're a girl or a boy. It shouldn't matter. Now, the interactions they have, the things that they do, the places they go, that may have to do with their gender. But if their whole story is just they is woman and they is like, I am woman, hear me roar, if that's their whole story, all I'm going to say is, no, that roar is going to be forgotten very quickly. Good characters are remembered for who they are, not what they are. If all I know about your characters, oh, they're a woman, guess what? I'm done. I'm done with them, you know?
Like, how would you like it? Sort of like this is a story about a man, and just a man. What is he doing? He's a man. Like, well, doing what? Being cool. Okay, because he's a man. That's not how this works. Let's see, though. Let's see. I want to make a chaplain in D&D. What class would be good? No magic. Well, the chaplains of D&D are called clerics, and they are magic casters. If you want someone that just served with a religious order but isn't magical, you can make a fighter that has an acolyte background. Yep, that wouldn't necessarily have magic. Or you could use a barbarian or rogue. But probably your best bet then would be fighter. Fighter, go battle master so you can be inspirational. Hey Ravenlock, what do you guys think of The Simpsons?
Gone on too long.
Put it down.
Raven, I meant to say, what robot character would you make in Five Nights at Freddy's?
Oh.
I don't know. I've never thought about
The
it.
most horrifying animatronic of all. The vending machine. Not
Ah!
just a vending machine, but a vending machine that takes your money and then has the bag of chips tilt against the window. And no matter how much you shake it, it won't drop.
So, Raven, what do you think the new hero will be? I don't know. I don't know.
I played Thor, but he was reincarnated as a black dwarf, but kept his memories. The problem was that I was playing the myth version of Thor, and the DM kept thinking I was trying to play Marvel version. Yeah, I prefer the myth version to Marvel. But yeah, I get what you're doing there. No, not that vending machine. Yes, that vending machine. That very one that actually is at my job. Vending machines are scary. Have you seen Atomic Heart? I've seen the clips.
I've seen the clips.
Yeah. Centaur animatronic, obviously. Narlark, the horrifying machine, the claw machine. Oh yeah, that robs you.
The claw.
Only the claw knows. I'm glad you always stream on Friday because I'm stressed after a long week of writing tickets and I'm beginning being called racial slurs just because of my job as a state trooper. Yep, that can be a problem working in the uniform. Glad you can chill out here.
Glad to have you here. For sure.
For sure. Oh my heavens.
My heavens.
Oh yeah.
Let's just
There's
drop it.
actually a vending machine where I work that keeps venting until it drops your snack. On some rare occasions, I get 2 for the price of 1. Now that's a rare occasion, but yeah. I don't know. There's this weird occurrence. Once when I was at a beach, I tried to get a drink from a Pepsi machine, and it gave me a T-shirt and a bottle, and like a $1.50 back. So it's like, hey, here's a free T-shirt on us. Buy another drink. I'm like, okay,
So are you telling me you're a T-shirt in a bottle?
something like that. But
Somebody please let me out. Britney Spears spoof.
I'm gonna hit you. Celebrity Jeffrey is stop using ethnic slurs, Sean Connery. Oh my gosh, we're gonna get that. Do you think vacuums are scary? No, but if I was a dog.
I was practicing my light parries there. Do it again. Ah, bad timing. I need you to do another light.
You've heard Fox.
That's a heavy. Do a light.
There's one of those drink machines. Hasn't been used in decades at my school, but they keep it there so people will just mess with it and put it back. Huh. What about the computer screen that constantly buffers no matter what? The horror is unbearable. Oh yeah, it's like, listen, if you're not gonna work, just don't work. Don't tease me.
All right. I'd say
Raven
we
White,
about
what's your
won this
favorite
one.
dog breed?
I really like Huskies.
Huskies are cute, but they yell like nobody's business. I like German Shepherds.
German Shepherds are cool.
I think I'm gonna have to go with the classic like Golden Retriever. These are cute.
Raven Whited Warriors get rid of armor. They didn't. The armor just changed. Military still wear like Kevlar and the like.
Yep.
Hooray!
Huzzah! It's 10:30 now. What do
Yeah, it
you
might be close to time to wrap up.
Yep.
I hate that because the reason I wanted to do this stream was to chill before next week starts. But oh well, the time is what it is. All right, let's pull it.
Like that.
All right. Well, didn't really get a rant going, but
Well, you kind of did have a good long rant on the Inquisition in the beginning,
that's true.
and we did kind of also have a rant on the 40K topic. So.
That is true as well.
And we got to talk about the D&D story, so I think it was fun.
Yeah. Okay. All
What's your
right.
favorite game mode? Mine's Breach. I like Breach.
Breach is awesome.
Breach is fun.
awesome.
Having a couple boys over, going down and breaching together, that is pretty fun. I've got an.
Oh, I finally need to do this since someone's been asking. They didn't ask in this stream, but I'm going to do it now so that I can point them to this video. All right. So how do you make Baldwin with Black Prior? Okay, the best way that I could say doing it is for the helmet. You would either use... Where is it? I would either use the Cameo's Legacy, the Nitidius, or the Demachius. No, sorry, the Erisabeth's Valor. I would use those. For the chest... Nothing with a cape. Nothing with a cape. Leave the cape alone. I wouldn't use that. I might use the fragment chest or the dandelion or something along those lines. For the arms, go with Urzabit's Valor or maybe Forkas. Those would be your best choices. For shield, let's see. For shield, I'd probably say Baneful. Either that or Perfuga. Those would be your best options. And for sword blade, go with Decrepit Blade, handle, and blade. There you go. That's how you do it. All right, I've done what I was asked to do.
Here you go.
Sometimes you just gotta knock that out.
Oh, yeah.
Raven, not to say you're wrong in any way, but look at the bad things the Imperium has done, i.e. Monarchia, Prospero. Look, okay. I did not say that the Imperium is good. I did not say that they're flawless. I said that they've done bad things. But I'm talking about in context of Warhammer.
Yep.
In context of Warhammer.
And Prospero was also partially Magnus's fault.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, listen, we're not saying they don't do some shady stuff. Like, the Inquisition itself could rack up a list that would make the Genevan Convention blush. But the thing is, the problem is people will go like the Imperium is the worst when objectively they're not, particularly when you have a setting where the Dark Eldar and Chaos is a thing.
So, yeah, none of us are saying that the Imperium is objectively perfect. Far from it. But what I am saying is if your argument is, oh, all the other factions are fine compared to the Imperium. False. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Professor Kimwell says, the real question, Empire Stormcloaks. I have a 2-part video series for you to watch.
Yep. Watch Lark's video on it.
If you go into the Lark's Lamentations playlist, I actually break down the problems with the Stormcloaks and the Empire. And spoilers, I prefer the Empire. Why can't the Imperium be squeaky clean, wholesome Chungus 100? After all, everyone loved the Tau when they came out. Exactly, Sushi. Thank you. Government of any kind sucks, so neither. Full anarchist there.
Full anarchy there, okay?
Unless you're going to go minarchy. I like the Stormcloaks. You're allowed to like the Stormcloaks.
Yeah.
Better than the dang Thalmor.
Filthy knifey.
Hey, like I played the quest. Oh, yeah, hold on. Let me see what I can find. Oh, yeah. So Jaguar was having a rough time since we were talking about Diablo 4 earlier. Apparently he bought it, but he couldn't enter a code, and so he couldn't play it, and so it was rough, but he was wanting to let you know that watching the stream helped him calm down.
Glad that we could help you out, brother.
Yeah. It's like, I see the Imperium man kind of like the U.S. We've done bad things, but we've done good things as well. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Just like any country, it's kind of like, look at the Ottoman Empire, for example. The Ottoman Empire, they sacked Constantinople and, invaded Balkan lands and done some shady stuff. Like, look at where the Janissaries come from. Could be analogous to, the Space Marines in a way. They are child soldiers. But at the same time, they also did some good things, like when the Irish were having their potato famine, the Sultan donated a ton of money and food to help keep the Irish alive.
Yep.
That was a good thing.
Yeah, they were capable of good.
Yep. They're like, what do people demonize? I think it was a typo. Demonize more, the Spanish Inquisition or the Crusade? Probably the Crusades. More like, I think that's just more in popular imagination than the Inquisition.
Yeah.
I assume people are okay with Farsight because he's a microcosm of a microscopic faction, so it doesn't matter how good the Xeno is. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, but the problem is that they will, what a lot of people will do is they'll just say, oh, this singular group or person within the whole is good, therefore that is a reason to support the whole.
Yeah, but it's just like, and then I could go, well, Caiaphas Cain is good in this, so that's a reason to support the whole. No, it's different.
Exactly.
To paraphrase an old quote, the Imperium is the worst faction in Warhammer, except for all the others.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that sums it up.
That sums it up perfectly.
Ah, Jedi, I was right. You're a minarchist? Nice. Hey, Raven and Lark, have you guys ever read a book or watched a show where you initially didn't like the main character, but you ended up enjoying them in the end or as they developed?
He wasn't a main character, but Bakugo from My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
I didn't like him at first, but he grew on me.
I think the show is like it's tough for a mob in another world.
Yeah, oh man. I didn't like him at first either, but he did grow on me. Yeah, I did start to like him. That's fair. It's tough to be a mob in another world. He was hilarious.
I still don't like Bakugo. Yeah, it's not.
You're free to not like him.
Hey Raven, do you think Warden and Warlord will ever get a rework?
I don't think Warlord will. I hope Warden will.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, the Imperium has the Salamanders, and they are too wholesome for me to even criticize. Yeah, don't forget the Lamenters, too.
The Lamenters are good. Yep, for sure.
I didn't like facial hair, but then it grew on me. But nice one there. Hey guys, since Raven adores Skyrim, do you guys like the other Elder Scrolls game? I really would need to sit down and play Morrowind, but I really do enjoy Oblivion as well. That soundtrack can be hitting different. I'm going to be real.
For sure.
Crimson Fist. Oh yeah, I don't want to forget that. Raven and Lark. The Teutonic Knights Project Chapter 1 is nearing completion. Where do you want me to drop it? Discord, somewhere else?
I have a Discord channel where you can drop it.
Yeah, drop it in there. It's like share your writings. Please, Ubisoft, give my boy Warden a rework. That's all me and Raven ask for. Just holding up Warden in front of Ubisoft. Please, my son. He's dying.
He's dying. You have to help him.
To which Ubisoft then picks him up. No. Throws it into the fire. Anti-Imperium stuff seems like Tyranid and Chaos propaganda. And if they just had fun with it like that, I don't think I'd have too much of a problem with it. Strange, my favorite Elder Scrolls theme is Daggerfall. Never played Daggerfall, but now that it's free, I might have to pop in and see what it's like. Star Wars The Clone Wars had Ahsoka Tano. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Ahsoka Tano, like a lot of people hated her starting up, and then really grew to like, yeah, that's a good point.
That's a good point.
Speaking of alternate history, what if Vlad the Impaler became Pope? Oh, the Crusades!
The Crusades he would wage.
It's like, you know what this church needs? It needs more impaled corpses. Are you sure? Trust me, I have a vision here.
That's actually pretty good. I might need to get that before it goes away.
I like Oblivion's aesthetic over Skyrim because it feels more classic fantasy. Yeah, that's the thing. If you're looking for the more stylized Norse fantasy, Skyrim's perfect, which I like. But Oblivion is more classic fantasy. Some argue too classic, but for me, like the music, particularly when you're just calmly walking around like a city or a town or anything, it's very calm and relaxing. I actually play it for my kids when I'm trying to just have them focus and calm down. Hey Raven and Lark, what is your favorite animated villain?
That's tough. I would need to think about that.
Just as a placeholder for right now, this might change, but Hades from Hercules.
Hades is really good. Yeah, I like him a lot. Yeah, that's a placeholder for me too. All right, let's go with 5 more questions and then we'll call it.
All right. Let's see. Raven, weird question. If you were told to write a fantasy story where a shark is one of the protagonists, how would you incorporate such an unconventional character?
A shark is the protagonist.
One of the protagonists.
Maybe have the conflict be between ocean and land. Maybe instead of it being a conflict between fish and predator, make it a conflict between land and ocean. And favor the ocean side. That would be the best way I could see starting that, but I'd need more time to really work it out. I mean, I think that a shark as a protagonist could easily work. Maybe you're telling the story of a mermaid or something who is waging a war against the land somehow. And she rides a shark, but the shark and her are friends. Like, genuinely, these are just ideas flashing in my mind right now.
Or, I mean, last stream, somebody suggested the concept of a were-shark for D&D. You could have that.
Yeah.
Have a were-shark.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Have a shark that is aware that it is a shark.
Like when you mention shark protagonist, my mind is just flashing with all these images, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, you could make it work. That's question 1. 4 more to go.
Let's see. Were sharks for the DMV? No, not the DMV, D&D. It'd be a lot harder to protest taxes. I think you overcharged me here. Please don't eat me. Like Scar from the Lion King. Let's see. Lark, which do you prefer? Which is your preferred method of planet killing? Glassing, Death Star, Exterminatus.
Exterminatus.
Easily Exterminatus.
Quick, painless. Well, not entirely painless.
But just it's also not as wasteful because the Death Star blows up the whole planet. Like, what a waste. But you could come back later and terraform it if you just Exterminatus it. And glassing just is too long of a process. Virus bomb it, destroy the atmosphere, and be done with it.
Yep.
Hey, Lark, how about a cave mimic? You're an evil person, Jaguar, but I like it.
That's 3. Got 2 more.
Okay, let's see. I've seen that comment, Draken. I know exactly what you're referencing. And I love it. I signed the death warrant of 1 billion souls. That whole quote is ballin', and it puts Alderaan to shame. I do love that quote where it's just it's like how you ask how can I consign 1 billion souls to die? If you knew my position, you would know that I have no right to let them live.
That's a good line.
It is. I make a shark a Viking or samurai type culture. Honorable warrior. Okay. How should I start writing? I have a lot of ideas, but I don't know how to write them. Ooh, that's always a rough question.
I did a video about how do you start, like where do you begin. I would definitely check that out. Look up my writing advice. It's called Raven's Writing Room. How do you start? So look that up, and it should be able to explain that to you.
How would you make a Christian Crusader mecha? The real question.
I don't even know where to start with that. That's weird.
I would just make a Templar mecha suit, like about 30 feet tall or something.
Recreate. Make a Gundam-style anime, but make it where it's a bunch of knights. No, since everything's got to be girls for some reason. Have a bunch of Christian girls, anime-style, riding in mecha suits to go destroy the infidel aliens invading mankind.
Why does anime always make it the chicks?
Because I don't know. Maybe because I think it's cuter that way. I don't know the reason.
It's like I don't know, because typically when I see those shows and I see what they do on their off time, how they never train.
I think a part of it is because they think that women are a little easier to differentiate. Like there are multiple hairstyles you can give girls, multiple different ways you can do hair color. With guys, it's just the hair color. Because if you draw all the guys with the same body proportions and body styles, it's gonna get hard.
Take a page out of Oda's book. He knows how to do it.
Yeah, Oda would teach you a thing or two.
Yeah, it's like I have Frankie, I have Zoro, I have Luffy.
And then you have Brooke.
I don't know. When you get down to him, his character is just, it's not really fleshed out. It's just bare bones.
Oh,
it's a joke. Yo! He's got a bone to pick with you. Hey, Raven and Lark, what was the worst Pope in history? Rodrigo Borgia. No, I think we are out of questions for the day.
Can I ask 2 more questions? Okay, I'll give it. Sushi's a regular. I'll let her.
All right.
All right, Sushi, ask your 2 questions. But make them quick, because then we got to go.
Are you asking for yourself or just any random 2 questions? All right, given I've been on a Drakenfeld bent, how much do you think sea monsters would affect navies? And how do you think they fight on the seas more before black powder, right? Surely it's not all bows, right?
Well, sea monsters would affect naval battles incredibly. If you have sea monsters that own the seas, that's a major advantage.
It also depends on what type of monster you're dealing, because the larger the monster, the less of them there are going to be around, and the less likely they are going to interfere with actual navies. And so, really, what they'd have to do to fight them is you probably have to have ship-mounted ballistas with pre-gunpowder.
All right, your second question?
Crusader shark rolls and mechas inspired by the biggest churches in history? Not There's some guy in Japan furiously writing this down.
Yes. When it comes to Japan, what won't?
I mean, I am convinced that the guy that made Girls Own Panzer was playing World of Tanks, and then one of his anime miniatures bumped on his head, and he went, Eureka!
Oh, Sushi says she donates the next question to chat.
Duke the Sea Monster.
All right, chat. Sushi has donated you 1 free question, but then after that we do need to go. Because I still got a lot to do tonight. Are we getting any questions? Because I'm not going to wait all night for a question. Not to be rude to chat, but I'm worn out.
We'll probably roll. Is your day good? Thank you, Preston.
Thank you, Preston.
Yes, it is.
It is a good day. It is always a
Always
good
a glorious
day.
day.
Always a glorious day.
Always a glorious day in this man's army.
Can you tell us about your second Legion Primarch? Now that's a question. Okay, so for some of you from my Discord may know, I have designed a second Primarch. He is a male. He's based on the Ottoman Empire. He is a traitor Primarch, but he did not turn to chaos. He basically, his whole thing, I'll tell you very briefly. His whole thing was that he is a conqueror and ruler by nature. And when he met the Emperor, he basically said, "Oh, that's cool, fam. You got a really cool thing going on here. But I could run it better. I could just do it better than you, man." So he never really sided with the Emperor. What he would do is when he'd go out on the Great Crusade, he'd take a page out of Lorgar's book, but instead of converting people to the Imperium, he would say, "I'm your new God Emperor." And this God Emperor that's saying he wants you, he's weak, he's pitiful, he has to rely on his sons to do everything. With me, you just have to work with me. He also had a different policy when it came to aliens. He basically said, Xenos, here's the thing. I'm not going to exterminate you. You just have to swear fealty to me. You have to donate soldiers to my cause. You have to work under me as a slave caste. That's all there is to it. If you defy me, I'll destroy you, and you've seen how strong I am. So basically, he's undermining the successes of the Great Crusade. He goes back to other planets that have already been conquered and basically does the same thing to them until eventually he has a pretty sizable army made up of not only his own Space Marines, but Xenos and humans who are loyal to him and stuff like that. Chaos is pretty impressed with him and they say, "Hey man, you should join us." He goes, "Nah, screw that. I'm not for you guys either. I'm going to run the Imperium my way." So eventually the Emperor has to deal with him, which turns into a huge battle, known as the Rongdan Genocide, because he joins forces with a Xeno group called the Rongdan. And during the Rongdan Genocide, it turns into a huge bloodbath. The problem was that, in fact, that was the battle where Naja's secret was revealed to everybody. But anyway, back to the point. So while he's in the battle, things aren't turning his way because a lot of the Primarchs are involved and the full might of the Imperium's on top of him. So he tries to turn to his Xenos to ask for more help. They don't. They hate him because they were basically made slaves. So they're turning against him. He tries to flee to the warp. The Chaos Gods turn on him too, basically saying, "You didn't ask for our help before, why should we help you now?" And so he tries to flee back to his home planets to reconsolidate his forces, but then gets killed by Leman Russ. So, because Leman Russ do be like that.
You do be like that.
But that was my whole plan with him. I'm working out the details of his lore, but that is my second Primarch. Now you know about him.
All right.
Anyone say anything about that in chat? Or are we good?
Well, the person says, "Oh shoot, I like that. I always wondered what it would have happened if a chapter worked with the Xenos." Or Xenos. The Xenos are coming.
It looks like everyone's saying goodnight.
All right, well,
now y'all know. All right, so anyway, that is where we're going to call it here. Before we go, two things that I want to say. First of all, the title of the stream is not a coincidence. I'm going to say it again. I've been saying it for a while, but I'm going to say it again. Starting next week, I go into full-time teaching for a science class at a local high school because the teacher there is going on maternity leave, and I will be teaching 5 days a week, every week, other than spring break, up until the end of the school year. Because of that, releases are going to take a hit, especially because in April, I plan to start my TEFL training, which will also eat into my free time. I do not know how frequently I will be able to release content. I'm going to keep releasing content, but it will probably be slower. Instead of releasing 4 or 5 videos a week, I may end up releasing maybe 1 or 2 a week. And I hate that. It sucks because I love making stuff for you guys, but honestly, I may not get out a whole lot for a while. I'm going to do what I can where I can. I don't know how demanding this job is going to be. I don't know how demanding the TEFL certification is going to be. We'll only know when we get to that point. So pray for me as we get into that. I also want to let y'all know that the 31st is when, Will? Larko, when is the 31st? Is that Friday?
Yeah. 31st is a Friday.
The 31st, so next Friday, our family is coming down. Our parents are coming down to visit that evening. I do not know if we will be able to do a stream that night. I highly doubt it, because our parents are going to want to hang out with us. So what we're going to end up doing, we might do a stream the night before on Thursday, or we might do a stream after the fact. I don't know what we're going to do, so we'll have to see. But yeah, yeah. So that's the situation. I'm sad about a lot of it. A lot of it's really a bummer, but that's the situation as we know it. I hope you guys can understand the situation as it is. We may do a stream tomorrow to make up for the miss on Friday. I don't know. Lark and I will discuss it. But thank you guys so much for coming to the For Honor Friday stream as it is. We really love to have you guys along. Thank you guys so much for everything. You guys are the best. Don't forget to support the channel. Going to Teespring and Patreon to support. There's some new content in the Teespring right now. Go check that out. All right. With all that out of the way, I'll shut up now because we got to go. Thank you guys so much. And as always, we will see you in our next video. Take care.
Have a good one, guys.